And current Sheriff Huey Mack is about to enter into retirement. The governor has chosen Anthony Lowry to serve as the new Baldwin County Sheriff. Lowry has been the chief deputy working with Sheriff Mack. He's been in the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office for almost 20 years and has also attended the FBI National Academy. Governor Ivey says she is confident that Lowry is prepared to lead the department. Sheriff Mack is leaving on August 31st to become the executive director of the Alabama Sheriff's Association. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A Jefferson County man was in court on Monday and entered a not guilty plea in the death of his girlfriend, Nikita Davidson. Cedric Robertson is entering the not guilty plea by reason of a mental defect. Davidson was found dead in April of this year after she first went missing. Robertson is now charged with kidnapping and murder of Davidson. Prosecutors indicate that they are seeking the death penalty in this case. Sentencing for a former Houston County prosecutor has been set for September 23rd. Last week, Mark Johnson was found guilty by a jury of violating state ethics laws when he was the assistant district attorney in Houston County. Johnson was convicted of soliciting pictures and messages that had a sexual nature to them from women who were defendants in cases that were going on within Johnson's district. I'm Maria Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. So much to get to today, but we get to do what is one of my favorite things to do during the week on this show. We have the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano joining us. Judge, how you doing today?
I'm well, Joey. It's a pleasure to be with you, my friend.
Yeah, great to have you here. And not to give too much away for your op-ed that will be coming out this Thursday, but I almost now want to describe what we're seeing in this world. It's not just, well-meaning people going and searching for monsters abroad. It's almost like monsters in search of monsters. Like the line is blurred to the point of who are the good guys, who are the bad guys?
Well, that's a great question. Who are the good guys and who are the bad guys? Ask the people who were victimized by coup d'etats orchestrated by the CIA against popularly elected governments everywhere from Iran to Chile to Ukraine twice. I mean, the whole reason this war is going on in Ukraine is because of a coup we fomented in 2004 under George W. Bush, and another one we fomented in 2014 under Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. There is no morality in American foreign policy. It's just power. It's just hegemony. It's just the wish to be the king of the hill. China could be such a fantastic trading partner for us, but the neocons in Congress have convinced everybody else that somehow China wants to destroy its most lucrative market. It's crazy. And the efforts of the neocons to use the Ukrainian war to drive President Putin from office, now a realistic threat because of this incursion into Russia. There's no moral basis for it. Russia poses no threat whatsoever to the United States of America. On the contrary, we pose a threat to it. We invaded Russia. Our equipment, our ammunition, our technicians, our boots on the ground, our intelligence agencies orchestrating it.
Well, and then all this can blow back against us, not just in terms of like military actions, but in terms of if you get rid of the moral underpinnings of the law to execute this emergency or fight this or that war, where are those underpinnings going to be when you need it most here domestically? And I'm becoming more and more convinced. Are you familiar with a guy named Mike Benz? He's become pretty popular.
Yes. Yeah, Mike is a great defender of the First Amendment. I know Mike.
And I find that his theme that I'm looking at a quote he just put out: censorship is not a domestic event for domestic purposes. He really thinks this stems from the Atlanticist, from NATO, from the State Department, and that they want to control narratives here in the United States and control people domestically for everything they're trying to do abroad. So it seems like all of this works together. And as you and I both know, war is the health of the state. There's not really a clear delineation between domestic and foreign at this point.
No, there isn't. I fully agree with you. I mean, add to that the arrest of the founder of Telegram, add to that the revelation in writing by Mark Zuckerberg of something we already knew and the Supreme Court has regrettably approved of, and that is the Department of Homeland Security using a carrot and a stick to influence messaging on Facebook and on other high-tech venues. And you have a government that is attempting to do indirectly regulate the content of speech. We're not talking about a guy with a bullhorn in a residential neighborhood at 3 a.m. We're talking about the content of speech, something that the First Amendment absolutely prohibits the government from doing. In my view, it prohibits it from doing it absolutely, directly or indirectly. But that will be heard by the Supreme Court on another day.
Well, there's some folks making the point if Zuckerberg had come out with this mea culpa before the decision. I believe it's Murthy. Jay Bhattacharya was writing about this and how the court essentially did not help them out at all. Folks are wondering if Zuckerberg had come out with this before any decision by the court, this could have been part of the case.
Well, the Supreme Court's decision in this case, which is several states suing the Department of Homeland Security, attempting to expose this via discovery, the pre-trial exchange of information ordered by the courts from both sides. The Supreme Court rejected the case not on the merits, but on the basis that the states did not have an ox that was gored here. The states didn't suffer here. There is, however, another case coming by human beings who did suffer because of what the platforms did to their free speech, and the court will be forced to address that one on the merits. So Zuckerberg's revelation, though commendable and though tardy, will help the second case, not the one that the Supreme Court already ruled on, even if they had known about it.
Well, and I know you got to run here, so folks, y'all need to check out Judging Freedom, the Judge's podcast, available wherever podcasts are available. Who do you have coming up this week?
Well, I have Pepe Escobar coming up in just a few minutes, who is just back from Iraq and is going to give us a report on the strength of the resistance. The resistance is Israel's neighbors who have had enough. I have Matt Ho and Karen Kwiatkowski, as usual, this afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern. The great, brilliant, gifted, I will be with him this weekend at the Ron Paul annual gathering, Professor John Mearsheimer.
Well, I appreciate your time as always, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Joey. All the best.
Again, folks, that's Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always appreciate his time. He had to run a little early today, which is fine by me. Eddie Bader in the studio with me. How you doing today, Eddie?
Doing good, Joey. How you doing, bro?
I'm all right.
Had a great meeting this morning with my best friend, Pam. So I'm running on like 6 cups of coffee, so I might be just a little bit...
Oh, I'm the same way. Turn
right
your camera
today.
a little bit there.
Yeah.
You got another pool liner that you're wearing today.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very comfortable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's cool. Is it moisture wicking? Because I know you need that.
Probably supposed to be, but it feels very soft.
Do you sweat a lot?
Like a pig doesn't sweat, but like a pig. I sweat.
You were about to say like a hoe in church, right?
No, but I've been referred to as that one before.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a sweater. I'm a sweat dog. What can I say?
Yeah, I don't tend not to sweat too much.
Well, you got to get out there and work first, Joey.
That's a good point. Look at these, how smooth these hands
I know. Are you a hand model?
Actually, no, not really. You can see all sorts of calluses from the
Well, it's always on
waist
the
up.
inside. It's on one hand.
No, it's on two hands.
Oh.
Don't you be
Well,
intimating.
I just know because some people swing a
certain
hammer
things.
with just one or the other.
I go from talking to an esteemed guest, and you're now accusing me of like some owning
Being
it.
a worker.
I'm just trying to make the proper sacrifice.
6 cups of coffee, Joey.
But I want to read this full quote that I was just sharing with the judge. This is Mike Benz, and Benz has been fantastic. He put this out saying, "This is the big theme I've been trying to impress on every Uber driver I get in the car with, every flight attendant, every White House official, every member of Congress, every friend, every family member, every follower, every subscriber, every single day for the past 8 years of my life."
Yeah.
Here's his message.
Okay.
Internet censorship, and my cry to the world for the past 8 years, has been that to understand censorship, you must understand the U.S. State Department and NATO. Censorship is not a domestic event for domestic purposes, stemming from domestic tech platform decisions or domestic government policies. Free speech is the casualty of a proxy war between the blob, which he calls the NATO Atlantis Foreign Policy Establishment, and its external quest on the foreign front to seize Eurasia and the trillions of dollars in markets and resources there on behalf of the blob's corporate and financial stakeholders, and its internal quest on the domestic front to stop the post-2014 emergent rise of populist political parties who might stop, interfere with, or limit the ability for the blob to carry out that external quest. It is a proxy war between the blob and all global manifestations of domestic populism. As we speak, the proxy war is playing out on every plot of dirt on God's green earth, and it is being spearheaded by the U.S. State Department, the UK Foreign Office, and the military intelligence and diplomacy arms and assets of NATO. Damn. It makes too much sense.
Right.
It really does, because especially this mea culpa from Zuckerberg today. It makes you go, well, why did you do it? Because I think these folks understand that they don't take yes for an answer when it comes to Washington. They want you to do a favor, and we'll do another favor because, you know,
Right. Now you did the first one.
and do the next favor, and they
Yep.
get you on the hook.
Yep.
And it's never good enough for them. So to do your own CYA operation, you go along with them. Thank God for somebody like Elon Musk. I think it's because of him that people like Zuckerberg now have the room to come out with this mea
Yeah.
culpa.
How you like that?
And then you also have people like Jack Dorsey, who I think is speaking freer than he's ever, even when he's the head of Twitter. I think Twitter was Dorsey's Frankenstein monster
A lot of people
that was
especially-
taken away from him and controlled.
A lot of people damn him though.
Oh,
And I-
sure.
And is it just a matter of haters, or is
Everybody's
there something there?
damning everybody these
But I mean, is
days.
there really something there, or is it just haters?
I don't know. It depends. If you have inside knowledge and he did you wrong in some way, okay, maybe you're not just a hater. But I think it is just haters.
That's what I wonder.
I think folks have been taught to just hate things. And by the bad faith just right now, the Rorschach test galore of this is what I see. This is what I see. No. It's just, it gets to me. It's the Tuesday blues when I read the news. It's just disappointing where our country has gone, but I guess we'll continue soldiering on.
And we'll
Is-
continue to slide as a country until we
Yes.
get the horse by the reins here, man.
But it is, in fact, I think, the blob that wants to keep the gravy train going.
Oh yeah.
They've had their eyes on these prizes for quite some time. And it's almost like it's on autopilot at this point. Because if you're in a position of power, say in the State Department or in a major corporation or in high up levels of NATO and the intelligence stuff, and you all of a sudden get a conscience, like what we're doing here doesn't make a lot of sense. How are you going to change it?
You can't.
Because
Already
it'll
on
just
cruise
be
control,
you
man. That's
speaking
right.
up. I mean, you've got to have a Spartacus moment where everybody's saying, I'm Spartacus, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Those people are in those positions because they've played the game to that
Right.
point, and they know exactly where their bread is buttered. So they're going to keep pushing, no matter the risks. and no matter the costs to everyday people.
Sure. But I think when they get a conscience, most of them, they just retire.
Ah, yes.
They just
Right.
retire. They take that money and power and go sit somewhere else with it.
Now, coming up a little later today, Arthur Herman, one of my favorite historians, if not my favorite, joining us at the 2 o'clock hour, our time.
Oh, cool.
To discuss, he had an op-ed out in the Wall Street Journal a few days ago calling for Elon Musk to be made head of NASA. If he's going to join the Trump administration, Arthur Herman thinks Elon Musk should be made head of
Man, that
NASA.
dude, there's several jobs people want him to have.
Because there's so much of a problem
Oh, yeah.
in NASA. Look, think of the astronauts
Who's
stranded
going
right
to
now.
go save him?
Good job, Boeing.
Who's
Oh,
gonna-
and by the way, a Boeing airliner
Yeah.
at the Atlanta airport had a tire explode. 2 are dead.
Yeah,
It
but
just broke.
We got a hell of a DEI program, Joey. We got
Right.
that, man.
So does NASA.
That's right.
You know, stranded astronauts.
Who's
Good job,
going to
Boeing.
save those stranded astronauts, by the way? Elon Musk.
Right. But today, this afternoon, maybe as we speak with Arthur, it will be revving up to go if everything holds true. You know, these things can depend on the weather and whatnot. But SpaceX is targeting Wednesday, August 28th at 2:30 Eastern. And I don't know if it's today or tomorrow or Thursday when this will actually launch. I'm just
Okay.
reading directly from their website. For Falcon 9's launch of Polaris Dawn to low Earth orbit from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Dragon spacecraft supporting this mission previously flew Crew 1 to and from the International Space Station and Inspiration 4, the first all-civilian mission to orbit. This will be the 4th flight for the first stage booster supporting this mission, which previously launched Crew 8 and 2 Starlink missions. So the objectives is, I think they're trying to go to the highest low Earth orbit ever done. They will endeavor to reach the highest Earth orbit ever flown since the Apollo program and participate in the first ever extravehicular activity by commercial astronauts wearing the SpaceX developed suits. They also conduct 36 research studies and experiments from 31 partner institutions designed to advance both human health on Earth and during long-duration spaceflight, and test Starlink's laser-based communications in space. So they're doing a lot today.
Yeah.
The point is, all the energy, all the success we've had in things like going to space has come from the leadership of that man, Elon Musk. It's very cool to go and check out. I just watched the walk-around tour of Blue Origin, where Jeff Bezos himself is walking around showing, here's the rockets we're building. Good. I hope Bezos is successful too.
Sure.
In that regard. It's fascinating to see what they still do in Huntsville. But in terms of what has actually pulled us into the future right now in the last several years, it's Elon Musk and SpaceX.
We've skipped so far ahead with him.
Right. And I think the problem with Elon and government,
Yeah.
Elon heading up NASA or a government efficiency office that doesn't exist, shocking,
Yeah.
is that government hates Elon's style. He says it all the time. His number one principle in engineering is how can we remove stuff?
Yes.
Make it as
Make it
simple
more efficient.
as possible.
Right.
In fact, you remove so much stuff that it doesn't even work, and then you have to put something back. But the point is to strip down. If you have this big, complicated thing,
Yep.
that costs more in manufacturing, that allows for many more points of failure on something like a rocket. And I think that same principle holds true not just for rockets and space
A lot of
launches,
time in business, Joey.
but for institutions that we
Lot-
built here
yeah.
on Earth. And that's what Elon would probably want to do. It's what Vivek Ramaswamy's constantly been talking about. Like, shut it down. Cut into the fat so much you might even cut muscle. This is the only way you get more efficiencies. And this is the only way where you can really see where the problem is and how to solve it. Again, the issue is the problem is not a problem for those who benefit from the current status quo, whether in foreign policy or here domestically. It's not a problem then. When you see another example, corporate journalists, they're being unfair to Trump. Like Jonathan Karl, just stumping. We played it yesterday with Tom Cotton, just stumping for Kamala and stuff. If you're sitting there still thinking they need to do their job right and objectively report the news, you
out.
do not understand the role in the job of a corporate journalist.
Right.
Jonathan Karl is doing his job. His job is to spin for the blob, for the machine. He knows it very well. And if he steps out of line, he's gone.
He's next.
Because honestly, he's probably high IQ in the sense of like above average. He speaks well. He can do a presentation and a high stakes interview and whatnot. But you know how many thousands of people could replace his ass?
Just waiting to take his place.
And they'll be happy to take marching orders.
You bet. You don't think there's somebody right now in the wings?
Right. So it's an absolute mess. And today, just to show that she is, pardon me, a fake ass puppet. Kamala Harris came out today saying she wants to build the wall.
What?
She doesn't believe in anything.
Does she know? Are we talking about the same wall?
Oh, they'll probably be, our wall's different than
same place.
Our wall's full of joy and love, and
no, it needs to be full of concrete and rebar.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what they mean by joy and love. Like, I don't want to see what you and Doug do in the after hours.
Right, concrete and rebar is what we need there.
Mm.
I did not hear that. So she wants to build the wall now. Kamala Harris now wants to build. Then go do it.
The wall.
The supplies are down there. They're literally down there.
Right. Why didn't you do it before?
Pick up a shovel and go. Instead of telling me these things you want to do, you've actually got the power to go do it. Just do it.
Just go build it. What's it? What in the world is going on here?
I don't understand.
And I think the point is, we don't believe in anything, and we can say whatever we want because we have a critical mass of folks that we have brainwashed.
Yes. Well, also, Joey, those same folks will tell you and me and others now, she said she's going to build the wall.
Right.
What more do you want?
It's like you have no mind. You've been trained like a dog to shake.
Yep.
In fact, I think dogs are a lot smarter than a lot of people out there.
Oh, definitely.
A lot more intuitive, for certain.
Oh, for certain.
Here's a little history lesson, a little video montage of Kamala and the wall.
And folks, on the subject of transnational gangs,
this is in 2019, I believe.
Let's be perfectly clear. The president's medieval vanity project is not going to stop them. This issue...
The medieval vanity project is the wall.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Right. And then here, I believe, is in other years past.
It's about a vanity project for this president. Right.
Vanity project.
And it is a problem.
Nod your head, Joy Behar.
Or is it a wall?
Right. And listen, when I...
Is it a mural? How would it be a vanity project? It's a wall. It's a border.
But it's my wall, and if you complain, it just got 10 feet taller.
Is it going to say Trump if you look at it from a certain angle or something? I don't get the vanity.
From space.
Aha!
That's why he's working with Elon.
I see you now, Joey.
Right. I just love how, let me back it up here a second. This cow, this beast of a woman, Joy Behar. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, just keep bobbing your head that way, Joy.
A problem of his own making. Right.
Yeah.
And listen, when I travel this country, folks have plenty enough problems that they need their president to focus on. You know what? Instead of a wall that, by the way, because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California, I specialize on transnational criminal organizations.
Yeah. If you did a good job,
that wall ain't going to stop them. No.
Ain't gonna stop them. Ain't gonna stop them. Well, we gonna stop them.
Then why not do
it? The wall ain't gonna stop them.
Then
it's
why
not gonna
not?
stop them.
I just don't
Why
understand.
do anybody believe it's gonna stop them?
I remember when they said we couldn't afford it.
Right. Didn't she, if she's the border czar, they stopped it from being built?
Yes.
Literally, it could have been completed.
Not only that, did they stop it? They started auctioning off the supplies that were there. Yeah.
They're just liars. They will say whatever they need to say.
You nailed it. They have got enough people out there, trained SEALs, to say, well, she said she's going to build the wall. What more do you want?
I saw it on The View.
She said she's not going to charge taxes on tips. What more do you want?
I saw it on The View.
Exactly.
Jonathan Carl told me about it. It wasn't a radical convention.
Yeah.
Let's keep going with this clip.
Okay.
Instead of a wall that, by the way, because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California, I specialize on transnational criminal organizations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That wall ain't gonna stop them. No.
You're not gonna stop them? Here's the Trump campaign's response. This is from Caroline Leavitt, the national press secretary for the Trump campaign. Quote, how much longer will the mainstream media allow Kamala Harris to hide and use staff to speak on her behalf? It's day 37 of 0 interviews, and Kamala's anonymous staff campaign sources are now claiming she supports President Trump's border wall. This is a preposterous and false claim. Kamala's records in all caps, proves she is pro-open border. She called the wall un-American, a waste of taxpayer money, medieval, and said it isn't going to stop illegal immigration. As a senator, Kamala tried to block President Trump's construction of the wall. As border czar, Kamala Harris halted construction of the border wall. Kamala's actions speak much louder than the words of an anonymous staff she is cowering behind. That's directly from the Trump campaign. That's just astounding. Like, these people are astounding.
Yeah. But you nailed it. They have enough supporters that they could say anything.
Yeah.
They don't get challenged, nor do they go in front of the press where they wouldn't be challenged anyway, but maybe someone could ask her a hard question.
Yeah. Somebody, anybody, please.
Yeah.
Anyone want to ask a question? Nope. That's not their job to ask a question, Eddie. Their job is to stump for the blob.
Yeah. Well, they're doing that very well.
And just to show the point, like, it's a conspiracy theory that there's this thing called, like, the ruling class or the elite. It's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, I don't know about
that. Uniparty, what is that word? It's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
From CBS News, more than 200 Republicans who worked for former President George H.W. Bush, former President W. Bush, Senator John McCain, and Senator Mitt Romney endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, saying democracy would be irreparably jeopardized by another Trump administration. Or maybe your blob won't get their gravy anymore. Right. It's a big club and you ain't in it. And Trump sure as hell ain't in it.
Oh, no.
He tried to be in it. He tried to play the game for years, but he was too, gaudy and I guess independent or something like that. 200 folks that work for H.W. Bush, W. Bush, McCain, Romney all endorse Harris.
It's all part of the Uniparty.
But that's a conspiracy theory.
What number makes it not conspiracy?
When I'm told it's true by CBS. I'm actually more of an ABC gal, like George
right?
Stephanopoulos.
Yeah.
What a hunk! I know he's getting up there, but I kind of got
Georgie.
Kind of
He's going to
like
be a silver
granddad.
fox.
I like an older granddad that looks like a 25-year-old still, because that's not weird. God,
not at all.
It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
So much of it is so stupid. But that's what we're seeing out there in politics today. So, 272-9228. It's just, I don't know. It's just amazing, Eddie. Like, okay, you want to build the wall now? Well, I think J.D. Vance predicted a week ago they're going to start saying, make America great again. They're just going to steal everything because that's what you do, right? You'll steal and redistribute other people's wealth and ideas.
This is the same organization that successfully got a president elected, and he never went anywhere, never talked to nobody.
He was elected literally with poop in his pants.
Right.
We had a poopy pants president.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. So why should this surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me, but it's just so audacious. In a way, it's like, you remember Anchorman? Baxter, you ate a whole wheel of cheese. I'm not even angry. I'm kind of impressed.
That's right.
I'm a little impressed by their audacity.
But Trump's got everybody hypnotized.
Yeah. No, I'm at the point where I think our politics has just become competing cults. Just competing cults.
The sense right now,
There's no good faith ideas actually to be shared.
No.
It's just competing cults of, well, my dad's stronger than your dad. My dad could beat up your
Well, it
dad.
doesn't do any good to come up with a unique idea because the other side just the next day prints it out as theirs.
Right. And I'm just getting so tired of like flipping the hair. I'm the cool mom. Okay. You're not cool. You never were cool. You gonna stop anything?
You don't stop nothing.
Ain't gonna stop nothing. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you with buying or selling here in the Montgomery or surrounding areas. Bo's been working the River Region real estate market for nearly half a century now. And of course, he can help you whether you're looking to buy or sell, but they can also help you there at the Goodson Group with management services. So you want to convert a house, say you move. You want to convert it to a rental. You don't want to manage it yourself. You're moving. Why not have the Goodson Group do it for you? Maybe you're not moving that far away, but you still don't have the desire or the experience to manage a rental yourself. Again, the Goodson Group can do that for you. It'll be a reasonable fee, and you can turn something that is probably still a liability, paying that mortgage, into a performing asset. And of course, the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. It's one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs in Alabama because of Bo's decades of experience. He's been through it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and he can help you understand how to work in this market and beyond in real estate, whether you're looking to be a more knowledgeable private player or a fully licensed realtor. So check them out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here, News and Views in the afternoon.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Sweetheart?
Yeah?
Well, I've been thinking, I'm tired of this house.
What? You want to move?
Yeah, but we'd have to do some updating, to get top dollar.
Updating really does make a lot of sense, especially when you're talking about lighting. That's where Crosby Electric comes in. They'll help you choose a stunning pendant fixture over your bathroom sink, dramatic flush mount lighting over your kitchen island, maybe some LED panels to backlight your countertops. Energy-saving LED lighting has really come down in price. Or how about a new ceiling fan that moves air more efficiently than fans built only 10 years ago? The bottom line, updating your lighting almost always delivers a full return on your investment.
Well, sweetheart, the house looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Guess I'll put out the for sale sign.
Wait.
What?
I don't want to move.
Find out how to turn your house into the home you'll never want to leave. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Our weather pattern is starting to evolve as the niceness of the last few days starts to fade away. Today's high around 97, low tonight down to about 74. So mostly sunny today, still dry. I think we'll be in the upper 90s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Generally dry Wednesday with rain chances 20% or less, but then widely scattered storms. They'll be random on Thursday and Friday, but I think they'll be a little bit more numerous perhaps by about Saturday or Sunday. No doubt about it, we need the rain. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union, the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark. Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones at 334-272-9228. And let's talk to Brian, who's been very patient. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Napolitano, I respect his integrity because he comes right off and saying, you know, he's saying we shouldn't be too worried about Putin, you know, KGB leader who invaded a sovereign neighbor. At the same time, he says we don't need to be worried too much about the Chinese Communist Party. You know, we need to worry about, you know, making sure we have good trade with them. So at least he's got some integrity. He says both sides of what he's thinking. I'm not sure if I buy it either way so much, you know. Everything.
I believe what he said is they're not existential threats to the United States. The main friction point with China is over Taiwan, and the main friction point with Russia is the advance of NATO right there to their doorstep. And it's been that way since the Bush administration with, you know, Georgia and other aspects of that area of the world.
Yeah, the way he kind of said it was going to happen, and then he just kind of stepped in and put his two little fingers into one territory and made it so where they couldn't, you know, then decide because they were in a state of civil war. Was not the right move, but I know the right move right now is to support Ukraine. But
to what end?
To what end?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so if Ukraine falls, then is he going to keep them interfering and spreading his influence and trying to take down other countries? Like, you know, that 2004 coup he talked about was, you know, there was a pro-Putin, you know, dictator in there. And, you know, it's not just that we'd like them alive with us. We'd like them to be, you know, this is a booger word, open societies, free societies, you know, democracy. And that's important, vital for democracy.
So I don't understand, though, how this is going to stop the influence. The end game is what's always troubled me with this. Because if Ukraine continues to succeed, I mean, they're not going to have total victory over Russia by any means. And
Right.
it's like you're backing the Russian bear into a corner. And I really do see that, if they're worried about, say, Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia being taken, I don't buy that because they're already in NATO. I mean, in terms of like practicality, maybe the Russians could catch everybody off guard and roll tanks into it because it's not a lot of land, especially compared to Ukraine. But I think the NATO war guarantee is what the Russians fear. And then the integration into NATO is what they feared the most with Ukraine, given, they've been invaded through the Eastern European plain every century. And I'm not saying they're right about that. I'm saying that I think it's
right about it.
Well, it is. It's something that I think is a genuine concern. If we had a military alliance on our border, we would be freaking out too. In the same way we made a stink over Cuba is why China's making a stink over Taiwan. What I don't get is that the United States is allowed to play by different sets of rules in geopolitics. And we've gotten away with that for a while since the end of the Cold War because we were the unipolar power. But I think that game has run out a bit. And we need to understand the interest of other nations, knowing that we don't think they're morally right. I don't want to live in Russia or China, but we have to counterbalance them in a way that doesn't end up in hundreds of thousands dead would be nice.
Yeah. Except it's it's the Ukrainians which are actually fighting. They're choosing to do this. And Europe is whole hog on board. They're on board more than us. So,
but again, I come back to the end game question. I get the abstract end of protect democracy and open societies. What is the practical end game for this?
yeah, I guess we got to think about that one.
Right, and that's been my issue from the beginning of this, man.
Maybe there's going to be I can only imagine this is what happens. There's a treaty and they take a chunk, and then after that, Ukraine might be able to come out of this hole. Might not.
Well, I mean, we'll see. It's just I find the United States has overplayed its hand. And much to the detriment of not like I'm stumping for, say, China or Russia. It's more what it does to the American dollar, what it does to our civil liberties back here at home, what it does to the cost of everyday people in this country. And maybe I'm old school libertarian in that regard. War is the health of the state. And if we want limited government and a constitutional order that respects basic individual rights, going around the world in search of monsters to destroy will make us monsters. And it has slowly, despite people's best intentions.
Well, let's get back to the monster at home. I think I've talked about this before. The blob you talk about. That's nice and amorphous. I don't think it really says anything. But I can think about on ground fighting the war directly, figuratively. We've got, I mentioned this, we've got big money influences politics. And then big money, if a bill passes Congress, it just happens to help the common good. Usually it's helping somebody biscuit. Right. And it's just a side effect is the other thing. And, that comes down to Citizens United, and we need to do more, figure out some way to get what McCain had in place again, and we need to reduce the power of money in politics. And once that happens, once you have this money in politics, then you have this alliance between, the government and politics, and then, and then in Russia and China, where he's pulled in a lot of power, you have this alliance between the dictator and the oligarch. So that's the direction we go, unless we can figure out some way to reverse that Citizens United and reverse that thinking that money is speech and corporations are people, and get more back to our ideal of making sure that the halls of Congress we may think each other are stupid, but we're not going to question who they're helping out.
No, and I think it's a two-way street, though. I think you're right. I would add to that, it's not just money in politics. I think it's politics into money. There are a lot of powerful players that if you don't play ball with them, they're coming after your company or your interest, or your competitors are using the government to come after your company or interest. So I think it's rules on campaign finance, I think, makes sense. But if you have a massive Leviathan government that has these powers domestically and abroad, it's going to be bought, and it's not going to allow any other major power center to rise up, whether it's private or another government.
Well, I mean, the power center is our government. It says, in the document to guarantee these rights, the government is established. So.
But this is what we mean by blob. It's things like the Arab Spring didn't happen organically because a fruitmonger set himself on fire. What happened, I think, in Ukraine in 2014 didn't happen just organically. And the State Department, often its role is not to work with peer allies, but to kind of oversee other nations. Like what, Portugal's going to come to our defense if we're really in trouble? Not to knock the Portuguese, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, everybody came in and helped us in Afghanistan the day after.
Well, I appreciate the call, Brian. I really do.
All right.
Great call. Thank you. Let's go to line 4 real quick. You're on the air. Who's this?
Sandy.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, I have a question. Which factory in China manufactures Kamala's disgusting polyester pantsuits?
Do you know?
Your manufacturer made a fashion statement and said a trend, gorgeous clothes and lots of class style. Needless to say, not even eliminating Mrs. Trump, but I would guarantee you that every Democrat fashionista in the world has asked him or herself, well, why doesn't she dress more appropriately? It's disgusting. Anyway, so you don't have an answer, I presume.
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to even go there.
Well, I thought I'd help you laugh a little.
But I'll leave you with this. I think at the end of the day, especially because of her just wretched wardrobe choices, I think Trump's right. He's just 100% right about the whole, what is it? Mr. President, have you gone silent, or is my technology just not working anymore?
He's gone silent.
Hold on. Here he is, I think.
Very beautiful woman.
He's right.
She's a beautiful woman. So I decided to go back and reread the clause. I'm not saying he's, but I say that I am much better looking than her.
Yes.
I think I'm much better. Much better. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
They have one pattern. The only thing different is sometimes the pockets have flaps.
Huh?
Sometimes. Only different. Thanks.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy. I think there's something to be said for functionality of pockets, not fake pockets. You know what I mean?
I like pockets.
But that are actually pockets.
Yes, because I bought some shorts that have the funny pocket, not like normal pockets. They have the like for a hotel key kind of thing sitting at the very top.
Oh no,
they're completely worthless.
All jeans I think have that. My jeans have that.
Well, I'm used to it in jeans, but not in shorts.
I usually keep a coin in there. You know what I'm talking about. Like a stoic coin. I hadn't brought those out because you start thinking, oh, there's Joey being a little fruitcake again.
You got your
But, maybe it's nice having ancient wisdom occasionally in your pocket to remind you that it's going to be okay. Embrace your fate.
There's ancient wisdom on $1.
Yeah.
There's some good sayings on there. Like in God we trust.
If you fold it in a certain way, it looks like the Twin Towers
Okay,
on
so
9/11.
you saw that too, huh?
Yeah,
You saw that too.
I saw it. I saw it.
Me.
And I saw your hernia.
I didn't know you were there for that.
You got to stop straining so much.
Yeah. Big guy. I'm carrying quite a load.
Yeah. But this. Let's hit a break.
All right.
But first, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, they are ready to help you Across the board, they're a full-service jewelry shop.
That's exactly right.
So it could be custom design work. It could be repair work, including watch repairs.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a spa treatment. So
Such a good idea.
You've got a piece of jewelry. You've been wearing it a lot, and it's not shimmering and shining the way it used to. Well, they can get it to where it's like brand new.
Well, say you've
all
been
over
gifted
again.
a piece of jewelry too. You want to get it shined up before you put it out there in front of everybody.
Right. And of course, they have an amazing selection from high-end items to everyday jewelry items. Quick note, though, Labor Day, they will be closed at Dillon Rings August 28th through September 2nd.
Okay.
So what, 28th's
A little
tomorrow.
holiday, a little holiday action.
So they're taking some time off for the holiday. They've earned it.
Yes, they have.
But if you want to stop by there today, you can get by there. That's Josh and Leslie Ryder at Dillon Rings. They're at 119 Brown Springs Road right here in Montgomery. Just off of Atlanta Highway, kind of where the old fun zone used to be.
That's right.
And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family. Together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
I think Sandy's right. Her pantsuits are wretched.
Do you remember back when Hillary was wearing everything that Kim Jong-un was
Oh,
wearing?
the Mao Zedong line?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe they've
Who are
modernized
you
a
wearing?
bit.
Who are you wearing? Mao Zedong? Mr. Trump, who are you wearing? Hugo Boss. I'm wearing Hugo Boss. No,
Right.
It's nothing. He had a dog, too. I like dogs.
Yeah, I do remember the Hillary, that one particular one where she just was straight out of Mao. Just
Oh, there's one after the election where it's like Omar the tent maker's
Yes.
back in business,
Well, that's
baby.
where she was hiding those many gallons of Gallo wine.
Oh, no, I don't knock her for that because, like, I've been there in life where you just want to wear big stuff because you just are a blob underneath.
Yeah, some are still there, Joey. Big stuff.
I'm
big
still
clothes.
kind of there, actually, yeah.
Some of us wear pool liners, Joey.
Yeah, you do. Every single day. Hey, this new report saying no DNC bump for Kamala.
Oh, so they're kind of official?
Trump back in the lead. New data shows former President Trump retaking the lead in November's presidential election. According to the poll, Trump leads the Democratic nominee with 49 to 48%. Now, again, this could be the I'mRight.com sort of thing. This is Echelon Insights.
That's the feel I get.
Yeah.
The feel I get is
Well,
that,
here's the deal. When they did this poll with RFK still in the race,
Yeah,
Harris is winning 47-45. With
Right.
RFK now out of the race, Trump's winning 49-48.
imagine, if you will, the DNC conference was like a campfire.
Yeah.
Okay, and at the end of it, they're expecting a big celebration. Well, RFK Jr. came up and he peed all over that fire, and that was the end of that.
It's kind of like when you're like a teenager
Mhm.
or maybe even younger than that. And you've never kissed a girl.
Yeah.
And, there's this one moment, like you're kind of in the driveway,
Okay.
like you're in the backseat of your folks' car, like it's the only place you have privacy
Oh, sure,
away from
sure.
the house, especially with all the sisters,
Right.
right?
Oh, yeah.
This is all hypothetical.
Okay.
I'm not talking about anybody in particular. And a song comes on the radio, and when we kiss, ooh, fire, and you lean in to kiss her, and then all of a sudden your sisters are outside the window going, ha, 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 ha,
Joe, that's
how embarrassing. you don't even know what you're doing.
I lived something similar to that, Joy, except I wasn't a teenager.
How old were you?
Like 9. We'll go with 10 to make me feel more mature. But yeah,
I said even younger.
pretty much,
Right.
pretty close to what you just nailed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's about how it was. It's like you're fake. You can celebrate this fire if you want.
It's just so much passion.
But that song by the Pointer Sisters, great.
Good time.
It's a good song, man.
Don't see music like that
Boom.
nowadays, Joy.
Dun, 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 dun. You're right. Yeah. Anyway, on that awkward note, let's hit a break.
Shall we?
Out of the break, we're going to have a business break. Jay
Okay.
Scott going to be sitting down with a local entrepreneur, business owner that we all know. Y'all stay tuned. Jay will be on the other side.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The Israeli military rescuing one of the scores of hostages abducted in the Hamas October 7th attack, which igniting the ongoing war in Gaza. The 52-year-old was rescued in the southern Gaza Strip. The chief of Ukraine's army says the country's troops control now nearly 500 square miles of Russia's Kursk region. Ukraine has captured 594 Russian prisoners in its operation that began August 6th and caught Russia by surprise. A New Hampshire resident who tested positive for the mosquito-borne infection Eastern equine encephalitis virus has died. The resident's infection was the first in the state in a decade. The Dow dropping 22 points. The NASDAQ is ahead 51. This is SRN News.
Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in history, owing a staggering $1.3 trillion collectively. What happens when most people can't pay their bills? Well, the U.S. economy is clearly moving into uncertain territory. That's why more Christians are turning to gold just for their peace of mind. I'm Lance Wallnow, Christian news analyst with a 30-year track record of predicting trends. The Bible tells us that gold is a time-tested store of value that can protect your God-given assets through almost anything, including America's historic debt bubble. And here's the good news. You can own gold through your 401k or IRA. My friends at Birch Gold Group can help you buy gold for your retirement account, tax-free and penalty-free. To learn more, text the word FAITH to 989898 for an info kit from Birch Gold that's entirely free, zero cost or obligation. Text that next step right now and take it. Text FAITH to the number 989898 for your free info kit. That's FAITH to 989898.
Rich Thomas Weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Our weather pattern is starting to evolve as the niceness of the last few days starts to fade away. Today's high around 97, low tonight down to about 74. So mostly sunny today, still dry. I think we'll be in the upper 90s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Generally dry Wednesday with rain chances 20% or less, but then widely scattered storms. They'll be random on Thursday and Friday, but I think they'll be a little bit more numerous perhaps by about Saturday or Sunday. No doubt about it, we need the rain. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. 11 men have been arrested in a Montgomery County sex sting operation. The suspects used chat rooms and social media to arrange to have sex with minors. One of those arrested, 26-year-old Ryan Rhodes of Deatsville, was an Alabama state trooper. Over half the suspects have already been released from jail. The U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Alabama has resigned. The Department of Justice announced U.S. Attorney Jonathan Ross' resignation on Monday, just months after his appointment. Ross has been with the Middle District since 2014, but now intends to enter private practice in Birmingham. An Alabama high school football player was remembered at a memorial service on Monday. 16-year-old Morgan Academy quarterback Caden Tellier died Saturday after suffering a brain injury during the school's Friday night game in Selma. Over $80,000 has been raised to help Caden's family with medical and funeral expenses. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Welcome back, folks. And now it's time for a business break. And helping us out today with the business break, we have Jay Scott, the one, the only.
Thank you very much, Joey. I know we get people get us confused.
They do.
You and I. I
Still
know.
to this day.
I don't know if they do it to you, but I know they do it to me. They say, "Hey, Joey," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's Jay."
And they're like, "Hey, Jay, I love your show on Saturdays." I'm like, "Yeah, it's good."
Whether it be Joey or Jay, doesn't matter. The man of the hour right now is Troop Booth from Heirloom Jewelers. Hey, Troop.
Hello.
How's it going? How's everything going with you? How's business?
Good. Yeah, everything's good and steady. You know, always doing something. Always something exciting coming around.
Right. Yeah. And in fact, we talked. First off, let's go into an introduction about your business for those of you who don't know, because I know that in the mornings I talk about you every day, and for those who may not have heard that in the mornings, new listeners, that sort of thing, tell us about what Heirloom Jewelers does, what it is.
We're different than every other jewelry store. We specialize in antique and estate jewelry. So what we love about vintage pieces is that everything is unique and one of a kind. Honestly, I'm more of a hoarder and collector of nature. I love the buying process more than I do the selling. I'm literally probably the worst salesman on earth. But if you buy beautiful pieces, they kind of sell themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what we really love. What I love about it is I never know what's going to come through our door. It may be something I've absolutely never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what excites me, and that's what excites our customers.
When something does come in, and this is just me asking a question that I'm curious about. When something does come in and the owner of the item or whoever it may be really is not sure exactly what this is that something that interests you as far as having to discover and find out and research or look and try and figure out what it is they have?
I mean, for the most part,
do they know what they have?
We help with both. For the most part, I'm third generation, and I'm connected with other estate dealers all across the country. And that's kind of like my job, is to be able to, when something comes in, know exactly what it is and exactly what it's worth and explain that to a client. And, figure out where we're going to go about finding a new home for that piece.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's something that I'm going to be able to sell locally, or if it's something that I need to sell online, or if it's something that we need to collaborate with another dealer and sell it in another market, like let's say New York or LA.
Right.
And that's the crazy part about the estate jewelry industry, is we're kind of globally connected.
Yeah.
We sell pieces. I shipped a necklace last week to Australia. So basically, we're not just tied down to Montgomery, Alabama.
Now, and just to give an idea, what was the origin date range of that necklace you sent to Australia?
That one was Victorian. That was a rose gold necklace. So right around 1850 to early 1900.
This is the part that just fascinates me. And you can go to their website and or Facebook, Instagram. You can also go to heirloomjewelers.com and see not only just the collection, which is massive. I say it's massive, but this is all one of a kind stuff. It's all unique. When these things were made in the 1800s, 1700s, they didn't like, all right, I'm going to make 700 of these same things.
And that's the thing. Even in jewelry, like we don't see mass production till about 1950. That's our specialty. Our pieces made 1980s and before, but back then, actual jewelry was art. And to me, art is made whenever a fabricator, a designer has a talent and they have a vision.
Yeah.
And they want to make something out of their love of their craft. Whereas today, even if we're making custom, we ask the client, like, who usually does not have an art background, we're like, oh, well, what do you want me to make? And then we knock it out and we go on a computer, draw it up, and we make the piece. That's not how art was ever created.
Right.
Art is made out by someone with a talent and that has a passion for their craft. And that's what we love about all the vintage pieces is you can tell whoever made them and owned them loved those pieces.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, you were telling me before we came on here that you're thinking about doing something special for the month of September.
Yeah. Now through the end of September, basically every day we schedule appointments for clients. So our business works in the office by appointment.
Because you're the only one there. You're the only one people deal with.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have to allocate my time appropriately. I can't just be trying to juggle 3 or 4 clients at once. So I like to schedule everybody. So give me a call or text 334-260-0066 if you want to schedule a time. And we meet with clients and we go through like their estate or things that they're wanting to sell, and we evaluate everything for them. We typically find if customers have shopped the pieces around, we typically pay up to 20% more than our competition. That's just from what I've seen on average. For the month through the end of September, if you tell me, hey, I heard you on 93.1, we're going to throw an extra 10% on top of that.
So, on top of what they get for when they sell it to you.
Correct.
Yeah. For what they get back.
So just tell me that, and I'll do the numbers and add in another 10%. So you're getting. Even
is that just with the jewelry, or is that also with like scrap gold things like
that? That's the other thing I wanted to bring up was right now in the current gold market, a lot of we're seeing a lot of scrap gold come in. Even the stuff you have laying around in your jewelry box that's kind of dated. We don't necessarily love it, but hey, if there's enough of it, it's gonna be worth more than what you would believe. And it doesn't hurt for us to look at it, evaluate it, and try our best to make a good, fair offer. If you don't love our offer, you don't have to take it, and you don't owe us anything. Just, and also I tell clients, send me a picture of what you have, and I can tell you if it's something that we're interested in or if it's not before we even bother setting an appointment.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of that. Tell clients like, this probably isn't for me, but I greatly appreciate the opportunity. That way it's saving you a lot of hassle and saving me as well.
Right. And he's also talking about it could be gold that you've got of jewelry that is broken. I mean, when jewelry breaks, you don't throw it away because there's value there. You just don't wear it again. He'll take the broken jewelry as well. He'll take that broken gold.
Gold is at a historic high. This month has been trading at 2,500. That the highest we've seen is $25.50 per ounce. When I was a kid growing up in the industry, not even that long ago, when I was in college in 2008, 2007, gold was at $600 or $800 an ounce. So in that time period, over the past 15 years, it has tripled in value.
Yeah.
And that's just absolutely insane. It's a double-edged sword for us because, okay, that means our inventory is worth more, but it's just like house prices. It makes it a little bit harder to sell because everybody wants a $500 gold bracelet. Trying to find that is very hard because it's usually, worth a decent amount in its materials alone.
Right. Well, folks, you're open Tuesday through Friday.
Yeah.
from, what was it, 10 to 4, and then Saturday from 10 to 2. But again, and I stress this all the time in the mornings, it's appointment only. You got to call and make that appointment.
So Saturdays were definitely the one day. It's like, okay, you absolutely need an appointment for Saturday because I might be in the office, or hey, if I have a quiet Saturday, we might be enjoying a little bit of time off. But for sure, I'm usually always in the office 10 to 4, 10 to 5 on Tuesday through Friday.
And that's Vaughn Road. That's 6948 Vaughn Road, which is over there by Watchman Drive. And that number again is 260-0066. Call or text that. You'll be talking to Troop. And their website, heirloomjewelers.com, plus Facebook and Instagram if you want to see the jewelry that we're talking about. So, well, Troop, it was great having you in here and talking about the business. We really do appreciate you coming in and doing that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. As always, nice seeing everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Hey, folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They liked Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time because this month when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
For Montgomery's conversational radio show, it's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey, he's Eddie. And man, there's so much to get to today. So much to get to. Again, Arthur Herman, my favorite historian, will be joining us to talk about his op-ed. He just put it out in the Wall Street Journal a few days ago.
Excellent.
Saying Elon Musk should be made head of NASA. Because he could right-size it, he could get it into fighting shape.
I like that too, but I haven't heard one particular thing that I don't want Elon Musk not to be in charge of when he gets there.
True.
Cleaning house. I think that's a great job.
Well, and you're like, why would they need that? There are astronauts stranded right now. It was supposed to be an 8-day mission.
8 days.
It probably won't be till 2025 they get back.
You remember back in the day, this was before your time, a show called Gilligan's Island, where they went on a 3-hour tour. And they were trapped on the island. Well, I think they're still there today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have a hots for one of the chicks?
2 of them.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Couldn't decide.
I gotta be honest, Miss Howell at the beginning.
How
wasn't
old
bad
were you
either.
watching that?
Oof. Well, it was before my time, but I remember watching it 7, 8
The
years old.
syndication?
Yeah.
Would you
Ginger
call it?
was hot, but I
would you-
learned
Fire?
Ginger was hot, but I learned my heart belonged to Mary Ann.
All right.
Yeah.
You got to go where the heart tells
Oh,
you,
yeah.
not where other things are telling you.
Exactly.
Now, let's get into Kennedy Jr. RFK
Yeah.
Jr.'s Trump endorsement sparks bad news for Harris. Albeit the decision formally announced only 3 days after rumors started to circulate, talk of RFK Jr.'s campaign event in Phoenix, Arizona took the media spotlight away from an otherwise lackluster DNC. What is this biased write-up? It was, Kamala's speech was the greatest speech
That is
ever.
what I've been hearing.
It was obviously
Greatest speech ever.
you just are a bunch of, backward racists who don't understand. And you're probably sexist too. You just don't like women.
Whoa.
But the independent's chances of winning diminished to a level where a Kennedy Jr. presidency was all but off the cards by Friday, August 23rd. Polls of 15% soon plummeted when Joe Biden announced he would be stepping aside in favor of Kamala Harris as disgruntled Democrats returned to a rejuvenated party.
Oh.
No, it's the same thing.
It is
They just slapped a
exactly.
different face on it. It's literally the same thing we've had.
Yeah.
Man. But truth be told, the attempted assassination on Trump probably didn't help RFK's chances either of retaining anti-MAGA Republicans. Nevertheless, Kennedy still retained a small but substantial level of support in the key swing states, which are often decided by a finer margin than the circa 4% RFK held. Quite simply, his decision could decide the election. Just take a look at how Trump has gained since RFK Jr. dropped out. He's gained 1.25 points in Arizona, 1 point in North Carolina, 2 points in Nevada, about 0.5 percentage point in Pennsylvania, and 1% in Wisconsin. Again, though, keeping in mind, folks, this is all within the margin of error.
True. But,
But
he's
this
also,
is the sort of these general aggregates of polls. The
he's
poll
had another
polls.
one jump on. Tulsi Gabbard jumped on, right?
Oh, yeah?
There should be a bump in that somewhere.
The resulting support for Trump has given him an edge in the states he must win to return to the White House, and he wasn't exactly losing in them in the first place. That said, it's also worth remembering that anything can still happen in a presidential election with 2.5 months still to go. It's pretty much what we were saying with Senator Britt last week. That what did she say? There's 8 political lifetimes before election
She's right,
day.
to be honest.
Right. And by the way, if you're going to hear a lot of rhetoric and folks are getting real worked up over this is the most important election ever in history, which every election is the most important ever in history, so it's sort of worn thin. I'm going to continue to talk to folks, bring folks on to talk about the stakes of the election. What are the actual differences? But there's going to be a lot. Remember the elections on November 5th? On November 6th, say we actually have a declared winner.
No, Pennsylvania's already said they're not
Because,
giving you an answer.
if you lose, it was clearly rigged. This is what both parties have been doing for now about 2 decades. If we lose, it was
this is
rigged.
True, Joey. This is very true.
It's clearly just, unless you're Mitt Romney, I like hot dogs. Oh, wait, you freaking weirdo creep. But after November the 5th, a lot will not change. And for months, it probably won't change, if not for years. After November the 5th, we will still be $35 trillion in debt.
Yes, we will. Well, probably a little bit more, but yes.
Probably more.
Yeah.
The debt will continue to consume the national budget. It will continue to eat into Americans' real wages and earnings as we monetize the debt more with printing of money. That will all still be going on whether Trump or Kamala wins on November the 5th.
Correct.
We will still be in, well, damn, we're in a tough spot, to quote, "O brother, where art thou?"
Yeah, we are.
When it comes to foreign policy, it isn't exactly a pretty picture around the world. And the United States really does need to have a clear-eyed conversation about how do we practically engage in this new multipolar world. Because it's not the 1990s anymore. It's not the early aughts even. That'll all still be the same. The evisceration of your First Amendment rights will all still be the same. The evisceration, especially of your Fourth Amendment rights, will all still be the same. By the way, all eviscerated in the name of national security.
Correct.
This mess that's out there. all that will still be the same. When are we actually going to get serious about the big issues? Because after November 5th, health outcomes will still be going into the toilet. Education outcomes still going into the toilet. They get you worked up every few years that if you elect me, all this is going to change. Well, we're now decades in the making. It hasn't changed. If it's changed in any way, it means it's gotten worse. We're not getting better. We're getting worse on all sorts of practical metrics that do matter at the end of the day. We're losing wealth. We're losing liberties. We're addicted to debt. We seem to be addicted to wars that don't actually benefit Americans. We're addicted to education systems that, again, leave Americans in debt and very rarely actually educate them. Most of the folks who end up actually getting an education would have gotten it in spite of that system anyhow. It's often more a self-directed thing. The big banks will still be too big to fail. And now the regional ones, too, can get a bailout directly from the Fed. Congress doesn't even need to pass a law. None of this will change. So, if you can't tell, I'm excited about the election upcoming because it's just crazy. Like, I just can't see how people would reward this machine that has created these awful outcomes. And I would love to see them humbled to a large extent. But what has actually fundamentally changed in American politics, and RFK Jr. was talking about this with Tucker Carlson, they did a big sit-down interview, came out yesterday, is I think we are going through a massive realignment.
Yeah.
When you see folks like Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, and there's going to be millions of other folks that always thought they were Democrats come on board with Trump. When you see also folks that were more in the libertarian world come on board. As you see the 200 Bush staffers again, well, H.W. Bush, W. Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney staffers, 200 of them are now supporting the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it's uniparty people.
So it's becoming clear that this is a populist party versus, well, the same establishment. And even if Trump and that populist party wins on November 5th, we ain't out of the woods.
No.
Because every president who's run and become president promised to lower the national debt. Many of them, from George W. Bush to Barack Obama to Trump, promised to get us out of these wars. None of it happened. So if we're serious, it's going to be about more than winning an election. And I have my ideological bent, my bias, obviously. But I think the point I just made is not ideological. It's just practical. This is what the United States government is up to. Here are the costs of what the United States government is up to. Here are the costs beyond just the dollar amount to the effects on our society, given what the United States government is up to. And it won't be through just politics. No. In fact, I think that is the problem, that we are relying on the political process way too much to try to solve problems.
Correct.
And it leaves people feeling alienated. It leaves people feeling resentful, full of disdain and contempt for their neighbors. Leaves folks frustrated and angry. I'm sure when you look at, say, high blood pressure rates in the country, part of that's probably highly processed foods. And but some of it, let's look at MSNBC and Fox News viewers and look at the, Kamala loves Venn diagrams. Like, what's the overlap of blood pressure and cable news watchers? We got big problems. And Trump's talking a great game in many ways. Like, he won me over at the Bitcoin conference.
Yeah.
Heck, he won me over years ago without him doing anything. It was all about the antibody reaction of the system, of the blob against him, that made me go, after voting for nobody for president in 2016. Well, maybe he's up to something because all the bad, worst people hate him.
That's right.
So maybe he's got something going on.
That's right.
So we'll see. We'll see. But just know that the election's just the election. There's a lot of work to do after the election. 272-9228. Let's go to line 1. You're on the air. Who's this?
And
Who's this?
yeah, sir. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Duke.
Hi, Duke. How are you?
What's up, buddy?
I had a frog in my throat for half a second.
Why are you eating a frog?
Yes.
Why are you eating frog?
He was just sitting there. He had his back turned to me. I got it.
Yeah, well.
Yes, sir. Anyway, I lost my train of thought with Joe sitting here talking about the politicians lying to us and doing what they want to do. They wouldn't do nothing like that, would they, Joey?
It's all of them
Every day,
lying.
twice on Sunday, my man. You know that.
Now, there's a comedian out there. I can't remember his name. Brian something. A younger black guy. And or maybe it's Ray Funches. I don't know. But it's a clip that keeps making the rounds. He's like, I don't talk about politics much.
I know who you're talking
because
about.
I don't know anything about politics. But I am a father. And I lie to him all the time.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
They're in charge of an entire country. I'm in charge of just one son.
And I lie to him all the time.
But I've been chilling for a little while, just checking things out and going, through the TV and listening. They're just listening, doing a lot of listening the last couple of weeks. I've been busy doing other things, so I haven't had a chance to call. But this Kennedy cat. Now, ain't nothing special about this boy. I mean, this boy straps and leftover. Don't nobody want him. He running over there to Trump like he's something special. And something, you know what he remind me of when I hear him talk though? You might know how it is when you ever had a job where, you went to the little boys room and, not having a good day and everything, and somebody come knocking on the door, interrupting you, and that's how he sounds like he's taking a poop when he's talking.
Yeah, he's got a neurological.
He has a medical condition, dude.
Neurological.
It's not bad. It's all wrong with him. What's going on?
Yeah, it's a particular neurological issue where his vocal cords wouldn't fire. He before couldn't speak at all.
Yeah,
he underwent a surgery. Get this though.
Okay, I'm gonna take that back. Let me take that back.
And Duke, think about how crazy this is. He had got surgery done. It was only could be done in Japan, and the surgery was they literally had his throat cut open, and they had a metal bridge over his vocal cords. He had to be awake during the surgery because they would move it to one position and go, okay, talk now. Okay, no.
So I'm not gonna be like Trump. I'm gonna take what I said back there. I'm not gonna be like Trump and talk about McCain and people with handicaps and stuff like that. I'm not gonna be that way. So I apologize.
We got you on tape.
Everybody.
Too late.
Yeah, you could be like Don Rickles. Have you heard the Norm Macdonald story about Rickles on Dirty Work, where Rickles had to go away because Frank Sinatra's in the hospital? Longtime good friends, Rickles and Sinatra.
Yep.
And Rickles comes back to the set, and Norm's like, "Hey, Don, I'm so sorry about Frank. How's he doing?" And Don Rickles' response was,
so I shouldn't talk about Sue. What's wrong with Susan Collins? I talk about her sometimes. Nah.
I think she's just crazy. Susan Collins, I think she's crazy.
She sounds like old boy now when she talks. Now she sounds like that little trembling in the voice when they talk.
Yeah,
that's it.
Right.
Like I said in the past, I love to hear them two argue though, for real though. Him and Susan. But back to Donnie boy. So Donnie know what Donnie love more than anything now. Donnie from Queens love himself some crowd size and love being a head in the polls. So he watching the hell out of some polls right now. Everyone come through. The Walmart discount sale poll. He watching them all. That's where he rolls.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just sitting back watching everything right now, guys, and Donnie still ain't sold. He still ain't sold me on nothing yet. Old girl, she's telling what she gonna do, a little bit what she gonna do. But Donnie boy,
okay, tell me this.
So fake. How do you not see that?
Tell me this. When has she made any statements?
She might be fake now. She might be fake.
She came out today saying she wants to build the wall.
Did she say that, or did she have her people come out?
She had her people say that.
She has not addressed one single thing. Yes. That way, if these policies she don't put them in, she can say, I never said them.
She might be saying next, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message.
Yeah.
But she might build a wall. See, she might tell
No, she won't. Dude, come on. Dude.
Trump said Mexico gonna build a doggone wall. So he lied. But she might say she's gonna build. She might do it. American people, you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Trump was president for 4 years. We knew what that was
He
like.
did not build that wall.
But okay, Duke, if she's saying she will build the wall once she becomes elected, what the hell's stopping her from doing it now? If she's not going to have tax on tips.
She's not the president right now. See,
what is in the way? There is literally an old piece of paper standing in her way.
Duke, from the beginning of this administration, every letterhead had Biden-Harris.
Yes.
Biden-Harris.
You cannot.
Biden-Harris. I'm the last person in the room in the Situation Room when we pull out Afghanistan.
Right.
I'm going to the border to see the causes of all the migration.
Take responsibility, man. It's all about responsibility.
You need to listen more. Listen more.
Can you name something Mike Pence did?
He was the task force for
Name
COVID.
one thing he did, though. Name two or three
He was
things
the
that
head of
he
the
did that-
task force on COVID.
Right.
Give me
Besides
something
selling out
else.
his
Give me
boss,
something
that's
else.
all I really
Give me
thought he
something
did.
else. Give me something else, 'cause that COVID thing was an accident. Give me something else.
He sold out his boss.
What he did.
Well, and also people have different roles as vice president. Dick Cheney, for instance, had a lot more power than Dan Quayle.
I think he had
Dick
much
Cheney
power
probably
as
coming
his
over.
boss.
Dick Cheney probably gonna support old girl too now, and
Yeah, because they're part of the uniparty blob that wants more and more war and more for their their masters.
Here's the most embarrassing thing. We ain't worried about the little one or two people running over to the Democrat side over there. I'm laughing at it all. But the Republicans, I mean, this guy can't even get the past presidents, the Bushes and the.
Why would we want them, Duke?
Why we want them, Duke? They don't align with our thinking. They are aligning with the globalists. That's why nobody wants them.
Mike Pence turned his back on this boy. I mean,
right. Again, a globalist. Nobody wants him. It's like if your cheating wife suddenly had interest in you. Honey, I don't want you no more. You didn't want me or you wouldn't have cheated on me.
That's what that guy said about Trump the other night. He said, people don't want him anymore,
If that's the case, how come he's got all the support?
So what now?
If the people don't want him anymore, how come he's got all the support?
That's what I'm worried about. This cult mentality thing. This can't break it some kind.
It's two cults. Joey's got it right. There's two cults right now.
Is it breaking it?
But let me ask you this: do you think that Kamala Harris is running that party, or is that party running Kamala Harris? Do you think Donald Trump is running the Republican Party, or is the Republican Party running Donald Trump?
Donald running here could go out there and run it.
Right. So okay. So you got actually somebody that's actually standing up and can do the job.
But
then you have somebody that's not able to do anything.
Just
not even able to
another.
talk to the press.
They just took out the old man and they
Yes.
propped somebody else up. Just
Let
got
me
themselves
rephrase
another
that.
compromised fake ass puppet.
Yes.
Let me rephrase that. Donald not running the party. He got there and run their mouth. They tell him to stay on track. They try to tell him what to do with Steve Miller and all the cats that got this.
I ain't mistaken. I believe one of his
Well,
family members is actually head of the party.
But Duke, that was Trump's biggest problem. That's why the establishment didn't like Trump. Trump thought when he won in 2016 he was actually going to be running things.
Yes.
They said no. Presidents don't actually run things. We run things. The career people.
He still ain't gonna run it. He still ain't finna run it. They might tell him what he can do because they know he crazy enough to pull the things too for him, get the job done. He
can get the job done. So God knows we don't want him running things.
I just find it astounding that we've been talking about lying politicians on this show for a while. I've been happy to admit, yes, Trump's a BSer and lies. How do you not see that Kamala Harris is one of the fakest phenomenon we've seen in years?
She might be fake, but she's telling us what she's gonna do. Now people.
No, she's not, dude. She has not told you one single thing. Tell me when did she tell you that? Because in the last 37 days, she hasn't come out and talked to nobody.
Read a platform, though.
Okay, let's go to her website. Give me one policy that's on her website, because as of this morning at 9 a.m., she had no policies on her website. So you can defend her, but all you're doing is being fooled because you haven't looked either. You're just kind of talking out the side of your mouth.
No, I'm listening.
Pull it up right now. Pull it up right now. As of 9 o'clock this morning, no policies. So when did she tell you anything? Did you dream it? Did you have a dream?
No, she talked about a few things she's trying to,
when?
for the country.
When?
Last week. But she didn't get into detail of it. But
we're going to spend more money in Ukraine. She made that clear.
Yeah, you know, right. Yeah, going to you know take care of the American people.
Right.
Everybody the same.
Well, no, you're right, Duke. She wants us to move forward, not backward.
2025, and she wanted everybody to stay away from 2025, warning us about that stuff. But, you know, I'm listening to all that.
But okay, if she warned you about 2025,
I'm independent right now. I'm still not sold one way or the other right now. But Trump ain't getting the job done whatsoever.
He's not the president right now, and he's still getting more things done.
I know that's what he's trying to get back in, though. He's trying to get back. He wants to get back in there and brag on what Obama did again. See, for him.
I think he's kind of moved past
that. He took credit for what Obama did.
But if that's what you need to convince yourself he's not a good president, then you do that.
Well, I'm going by what he did. He ran national debt up like the rest of them. So what I'm saying, he's not telling me anything different from what I heard from him last time around.
What are you paying for groceries now, Duke? What are you paying for gas now? What are you paying for things now as opposed to when he was president?
Oh, when that virus came through,
it's the virus. Now the virus has been gone a couple years. So what are you paying?
What I'm saying, I want to go back to that though. That virus messed up Obama compliments, and then when Trump got in there, he got in there, like I said, right when in the middle of things working out, Trump taking credit for old boy stuff, the virus hit. Then everything just went downhill from that point.
Just don't understand. The system of Republicans and Democrats for years has been screwing the American people. Why do people keep going back to them and going, well, it's a new face? So it's changed. It's not.
Not even close.
But I still want to hear you give Obama the credit for bringing that Bush thing back, because
what Bush thing?
The hurricane?
How Bush left the economy so bad, the last Bush that was in the office, and Obama came and cleaned up the mess.
No, they bailed out the big banks.
Yeah, they bailed out the banks.
Right. But after
how did that make things better?
Mess, after he got things, whatever he did to get it back on track, but after he got in there, Trump came through and took credit for what he did. You know he did. Then after Trump messed things up, Biden took sort of the badness that Trump left in the office. See
what badness was that? So when gas was $1.99 to $2.09 a gallon,
he ran the national debt.
I can't do this anymore, Duke. Keep listening.
You know what I'm talking about.
Keep listening.
You're in your own little world there, buddy. But you know I love you.
No, I'm just.
I think you're just BS. I think you're just talking a mile a minute.
He don't even believe his own BS.
And I love it.
I love y'all to death.
Going on how you want to play.
Yeah, I love you too, man. Appreciate the call.
See you, brother.
Goodness gracious. This part of the program. That's just nonsense. Balderdash. It's part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And there at Cole Plumbing, James and the team are, ready to help you with any and all your plumbing issues. Could be everyday plumbing problems like a clogged drain, low water pressure.
Low water pressure.
Maybe you've been in the house a while and you've seen the trees all around your property grow up around you. Yeah. You know those root systems also grow.
Oh, Joey.
So you might have a tree root invasion.
It could be. Especially if you've got that, when you flush the toilet, it comes up in the shower. Chances are you've got a clogged drain.
That's a big old problem. And Cole Plumbing can solve it, though. Maybe you do have a massive leak inside or outside your home. Cole Plumbing has this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you and your home to get in there and solve the problem. So what does that mean? It means they're not going to tear out a bunch of drywall or have to dig up a huge hole, big muddy mess inside or outside the home. They can do it with precision and expertise. And, of course, they can also help you upgrade to, say, a tankless water heater system, or maybe you want new accessories in the bathroom, even a brand new, like, say, Japanese toilet.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
They can do it all. So check out Cole Plumbing today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your updated market report. Through 7 months of 2024, over 2,900 homes have sold and closed in the River region. The average price was $260,000, and 60% of these homes sold in 60 days or less. Since mortgage rates have dropped over a point, buyers can save thousands of dollars in payments of what it would have been just 8 weeks ago. The supply of homes has increased, giving buyers more choices than they've had all year. To identify your next home, focus on what's important to you as features that will make the move worthwhile. By getting pre-approved with a local lender, hiring the best home inspector, and most importantly, hiring an experienced buyer agent will make it all go smoothly. For a list of 17 essential buyer agent services and a list of the best lenders and local inspectors, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather. Well, hi, everybody. Our weather pattern is starting to evolve as the niceness of the last few days starts to fade away. Today's high around 97, low tonight down to about 74. So mostly sunny today, still dry. I think we'll be in the upper 90s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Generally dry Wednesday with rain chances 20% or less, but then widely scattered storms. They'll be random on Thursday and Friday, but I think they'll be a little bit more numerous perhaps by about Saturday or Sunday. No doubt about it, we need the rain. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Don't miss our great package deal right now on a 25 horsepower Kubota tractor with front end loader and more. All for 0% APR 84 months with approved credit.
Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. That's Eddie. We're in the pool liner.
That's right. Very comfortable.
And we got a lot of calls right
Yeah, we do.
there. So let's go right to the phone. Huh?
Duke has that effect on people.
Yeah, he does. Just stirring. Just
He is a pot
and
stirrer.
stirring. Let's go to Joey. Hey, Joey. This is Joey.
Joey.
Hey.
Eddie, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, man?
If I was any better, I'd be a twin. Hi. So I got a couple of things to say. Duke, I love you. I honestly do, brother. God, I love you. But stupidity is defined as the inability to learn. Ignorance is defined as the inability to accept knowledge. I don't think ignorant people are stupid. I don't think stupid people are dumb. This kind of falls under the you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I've never in my life seen somebody so informed about what's happening but not have the ability to accept it for what it truly is.
Duke, you listening?
Good point, man.
That's a good one.
That's a really good point.
I have never in my life seen it. I love him to death. Hey, brother, Duke, I love you. I'll buy you lunch. We can go drink beers. We can have this dumb debate drunk, and we might even box afterwards and be friends the next day. 'Cause that's how we used to do it back in the day.
Yep.
All right? But, dude, how can you be so informed on something and not see it? Not see it. Every point he made was a Kamala ad that Trump needs to use. Oh, well, Biden did this, and this, and then Trump did. Dude, Trump, put that out as an ad. Take Duke as your ad promoter because he is saying everything that we believe, but he don't believe it. This dumbfounds me.
How can somebody be so awake and yet in a coma? I'm
one of God's oddities there. But I appreciate the call, Joey. I got a bunch of folks.
Hey, I appreciate it, Joey.
272-9228. Let's go to James. Hey, James. How you doing?
Joey, how are you this afternoon?
I'm fine.
All right. George W. Bush, when he left office, $9 trillion worth of debt. This is easy enough accessed. When their boy Bo, when he left office, $20 trillion, a 58% increase. If you print enough money, Joey, what do you do when you print money, Joey?
I mean, you print money, or you create
spend it.
You create bits on a balance sheet. That's
exactly every dollar you print, devalues every dollar that is already out in circulation.
Yes.
So if you have $9 trillion worth of debt, this is money you don't have, and then you add on top of that $11 trillion more, and that was after their boy Bo left office. That's what he saddled us with, 58% more. And since then, and I think that character went out in 2016. Since then, we go from 20 trillion to 34 trillion. These are real numbers, money that went somewhere. I challenge anybody, especially Duke, sit down and calculate how many $50,000 a year jobs that is that we have thrown down a sewer. Well, we can't hire people to go to work. Of course, it used to be about opportunity. Do you hear anybody on the left campaigning, and do they say anything about opportunity? Anywhere in there, is it jobs?
Oh, yeah, they say all the stuff that
they say the verbiage.
Okay, I miss out on the opportunity. I hear about the $25,000 they're going to find for individuals' first homes.
Yeah, that's opportunity to buy a home, right?
Yes, but where's the work?
Right.
I mean, not that individual's not going to be working. I guess all those people that are pouring over the border will have a job if they start building those new houses.
Well, some of those home loans are specifically designed for those.
Exactly. But then what? Once they get in it with that $25,000, where's the rest of the money coming from?
It's not going to happen.
I know what they can do. They can just print more.
Yeah. Our ancestors were dopes. They actually thought saving and investment's how you grow wealth, which is just created out of thin air.
I'm confused. Oh, yes. November 2016. Is that not when the 2020, excuse me. It's only been 4 years of these people. 2020. You remember what gas was then? $1.80. $1.80. I remember getting gas at some some gas station at the intersection of South Memorial Drive and Main Street in Prattville. It was $1.80 prior to the election in 2020. And now what do we have? $3 gasoline?
Oh, yeah. And one more than that. This morning. And, I think with all this money sloshing around and outcomes, just pick it, whether it's education or health or how we doing abroad, outcomes aren't getting better. It makes you think, well, they're up to a so-called honest graft. Somebody's getting paid to not solve the problem, to pretend like they're managing the problem and make Tammany Hall blush. That's I think exactly what's going on with Republicans and Democrats. There's a big story about former Senator Ben Sasse, who is a Republican from Nebraska, was made the head of the University of Florida, and he gives all the multi-million-dollar contracts to Republican consultants and folks, and doesn't really do much for the university, and is now getting a huge umbrella deal of $1 million a year for a few years. There's another big story I'll read in the next hour about Kamala Harris's brother-in-law joining the civil division of the Justice Department and making bank on this slush fund that has no accountability.
Grift.
So, I mean, I think it's just most of the fighting is about just making the bottom line and taking advantage and exploiting people.
Yep.
And then they use all the fancy ideals and, to hook us back in.
But not a whole lot of it helps me and you, right, Joey?
No, true. I just want them to leave me alone, but they won't. So.
Well, let me offer this. We all know that God Almighty has providence. And I will recommend, as I have before, Daniel and Habakkuk.
Well, there you go.
Daniel, it's where the word says that the Lord puts them in power and he pulls them down, takes power away. And Habakkuk, he's asking the Lord in prayer, why is it? And I'm assuming this is in prayer. It may be actual audible, and of course I'm not discounting that as prayer. But in Habakkuk is asking, why are these evil people prospering, and how much longer am I going to suffer from this? What's transpiring? And of course the reply is, and this is in the Word, and then I paraphrase here, in God's time, in my time. That's what Habakkuk is told. So sooner or later, the Lord will either come back or this will unfold properly in God's time.
Nothing new under the sun.
Exactly, brother.
Well, I appreciate the call, James.
Joey, have a nice day.
See you, bud.
This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage, and they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current home. A lot of reasons to refinance. Maybe you got credit card debt hanging over your head. Go look at the average outstanding balance for Americans. People are just surviving based on that credit they're extending out.
Exactly
if you do have equity built up in your home, it's a great way to restructure debt, get it on a much sounder financial footing. Or it could be you want the cash out to reinvest in your property or your family, yourself. Mm-hmm. Maybe the kids are moving off to a new city. You want to help them out. There's a lot of different reasons. Could be a big vacay.
Could be.
And, of course, if you're looking to buy, they can walk with you every step of the way there at Alabama Home Mortgage from pre-approval all the way to closing day. So check them out. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Very quick break, about 30 seconds. We'll come back to Papa B. And then again, Arthur Herman joining us after the top of the hour. Look forward to that conversation.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Every Tuesday at Riverwalk Stadium is Tacos and Tall Boys. Get your Taco Tuesday on with $4 chicken or beef tacos and $4 select 16-ounce beers at the Golden Sombrero. It's been 20 years of biscuits, so butter up with us for some Tacos and Tall Boys. That's on Tuesday nights at Riverwalk Stadium. For tickets and more information, visit biscuitsbaseball.com or call the box office at 323-BALL.
The River Region's first and only News Talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Let's go right back to the phones. Talk to Papa B. Hey, Papa B.
Hey, guys. Enjoying the show.
Well, thanks, man.
My dear Duke. I love you, bud. But, there's a saying that goes, there are none so blind that those who will not see. I mean, at this point, it's ideological. There's some sort of ingrained bias, that the man has toward Trump or whomever. And some favorability that's just part of his, genre toward, I guess, the Democrats. But, that's fine. I don't care. And he can say what he wants to say. I'm sure that maybe there are some that would agree with him. At any rate, I enjoyed very much the interview that Tucker Carlson had with RFK.
It was very good.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he covered in part of the interview really a lot of just, or one would say, a plethora of issues, from what we put in our food to what we're putting in our bodies to the environment. And all of them were really good points, Joey, I thought. You know, the spiritual connection that we have to the environment.
Yep.
You know, the Republican Party used to have, you know, that is part of their bulwark. Somehow the Democrats have absconded with it and made it their own. But Teddy Roosevelt, I believe, is kind of like one of the forerunners for that effort. You know, now he was what? You know, Bull Moose Party or whatever, I guess. But still, the Republican Party kind of, you know, had that as part of their, you know, thought and belief system. I do believe years ago. Why they, you know, have left it, I don't know. Corporate greed, whatever you might call it. But it's important, I think, that, you know, we kind of revisit some of these issues. Amen. After all, some of the statistics that he was rattling off about our kids and what they're going through, you know, they're very eye-opening, I would say.
That's why this guy's had my attention since last year. He didn't, I have disagreements with him, but it doesn't sound like he hates people. You can find old clips where he sounds that way, but he seemed in the last few years to try to stop the polarization and just it's almost like a divorcee, like how bitter they are, our politics is. He was trying not to be the bitter divorcee anymore. But I got to hit my top hour break. We got a guest coming up, but I appreciate it, Bobby. You really do.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Bob.
And I encourage everybody to go watch that Tucker Carlson interview with RFK Jr. Just fantastic stuff. It really is. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with all your pest control needs. Yeah. Could be you need a specific job done. Say you want to do a termite inspection or a mosquito treatment, especially if you're watching, say, some football games out before it gets too cold and mosquitoes still be out. They can get rid of those. Or it could be you've got just a major infestation that happened all of a sudden.
Yep.
But why not make them your everyday pest control company so they got your back no matter what at 265-9990. Again, that's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. They're great local folks, essentially your neighbors. Oh, yeah. Always giving back to the community and true professionals. So when you want to know, call a pro. That's Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and the team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be back with Arthur Herman on the other side of this break.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A judge has denied bond for a fired Florida sheriff's deputy in the shooting of a black U.S. Air Force senior airman. Former Okaloosa County Deputy Eddie Duran charged with manslaughter with a firearm in the May 3rd shooting death of Roger Fortson. A San Diego police officer has been killed, another critically injured when a speeding vehicle crashed into their patrol car. The speeding driver also was killed. There have been no names released. One person has died in a crash on Interstate 40 in Arkansas. It backed up traffic for hours on the busy highway Monday. Traffic was diverted overnight. All lanes reopened this morning. The Dow had 2 points, and the NASDAQ is up 43. This is SRN News.
On August 30th, Reagan returns to office.
We are the greatest country in the world, and we have just forgotten.
You can run from a bully for so long, but after a while, you're going to have to stand up to him. I am about to start the biggest war of this century.
You told me you wanted to make a difference in this world.
What would you have me do?
I want you to fight!
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall!
Reagan in theaters Friday, August 30th. Rated PG-13.
Hi, Eric here with Ultimate Tax Group. If you owe back taxes to the IRS or state, personal or business, my team and I want to help you take your freedom back. Call Ultimate Tax Group at 888-505-1099. We will stop or prevent bank levies or wage garnishments. We care and fight for our clients. Call us today, 888-505-1099, ultimatetaxgroup.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Well, hi, everybody. Our weather pattern is starting to evolve as the niceness of the last few days starts to fade away. Today's high around 97, low tonight down to about 74. So mostly sunny today, still dry. I think we'll be in the upper 90s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Generally dry Wednesday with rain chances 20% or less, but then widely scattered storms. They'll be random on Thursday and Friday, but I think they'll be a little bit more numerous perhaps by about Saturday or Sunday. No doubt about it, we need the rain. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
A Texas judge has responded to a lawsuit filed by 16 state attorneys general, including Alabama's. The Eastern District Judge has now put a halt to a federal program that was seeking to grant amnesty to illegal alien spouses. The program is coming from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall joined the 15 other states in signing on to the lawsuit last week. The program from DHS and the Biden administration would have given over 1 million illegal aliens U.S. citizenship. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A whistleblower on immigration violations is now claiming that human labor trafficking is going on in Albertville with the recent influx of Haitian migrants. Jay Palmer spoke once again at a community meeting in Albertville that was organized by community leaders. Palmer says the human trafficking is rampant, and he has proof after looking into Albertville's immigration issues. Palmer is now pointing the finger at 19 staffing agencies in the area that are engaging in the human trafficking and the financial profit that comes with it. Palmer and others from Albertville are now pushing for stricter regulations and enforcement of those regulations for these staffing agencies. Huntsville police have now released the identity of the fatality involved in an officer-involved shooting. 38-year-old Namikal Sanders of Decatur was killed by an on-duty police officer this past Saturday. The confrontation occurred in Huntsville with police responding to a domestic violence call. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. It's Joey Clark Live. And as promised, joining us now, we have on the line Arthur Herman. He is a senior fellow and director of the Quantum Alliance Initiative at the Hudson Institute. His research programs analyze defense, energy, technology issues. He is, Dr. Herman, the author of 10 books, some of my favorites out there. The one I always cite is Cave in the Light and the Idea of Decline in Western History, but there are so many others worthy of your time, folks, and we bring Arthur on now. Sir, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How's everybody?
How's everybody there?
Oh, well, this is, I was telling you off air, a little refreshing. We were getting in some just down home partisan back and forth in the last hour. So,
all right.
So your op-ed that came out just a few days ago, make Elon Musk head of NASA. So what's the basic thrust of this idea here?
Well, I'll tell you what set me off in this direction. I've been following Elon Musk's career for a while. Most of us have, as a matter of fact, but I've been particularly interested in the way in which he has, as head of SpaceX, has really transformed the commercial space industry. And my own feeling is that we're now at a point in our evolution as the world's leading space power, and we still are, although the Chinese are pushing us hard to try and displace us in that role, that we're moving from the era in which we look to former astronauts or to engineers to tell us what or we should do or not do in terms of space missions, to turn to the businessman and to the businesswoman, and that there's a whole host of talent which is involved in building out the surge that's happened in the commercial space industry in terms of space launch, satellites, communications, ground support, sensors, and all the other kind of gear that now we're able to send into space cheaper and faster and smarter than ever before. And that Elon Musk really epitomizes that can-do, entrepreneurial, but also very carefully trained and understanding of the engineering and scientific issues that go with in the world of space and space travel and space communications, and someone who I think has a kind of vision of where the United States can go as a space power that is really suited to where we are today and where we're going to be going. So the piece was a way to get people to think about Elon Musk not just as, CEO of Tesla or as owner of X or even just owner of SpaceX, but also someone who brings a kind of vision and ideas about how America's future in space really ought to look.
Well, and I know one thing Musk constantly says in terms of engineering is he's always trying to delete things, strip things down, get it as simple as possible for functional reasons, for manufacturing cost reasons. How well does that mentality, and I love it, he did it with X, how well does that mentality jive, say, with the federal bureaucracy, in particular, NASA?
Well, there's going to be, in fairness to the federal bureaucracy, and I know you won't believe that I'm going to be fair to the federal bureaucracy, but when it comes to space, to travel in space and space missions, of course you want to be careful about the issue of how much risk you're willing to assume. And you always have to be careful in any situation and that as you delete, you're not deleting components or processes that are going to put your mission at risk, and especially not put lives at risk. But look at what's happened. Look at what's happened when we have this intense focus on making sure that missions in space, especially inhabited missions, are as safe and as carefully prepared as possible. We've got 2 astronauts stuck at the International Space Station now. We went up there for an 8-day visit, and are now probably going to be stuck there till February of 2025. And that the craft, the Boeing designed and built craft that got them there with, all of this federal supervision and control and safety checks, that is now deemed unsafe to bring them back. And who's going to have to bring them back now? It's going to be SpaceX. So we've really reached a point now, I think, where we have to think about, we're at an inflection point, I think, Joey, in terms of where America's space future lies. And if we can continue to go down the road that NASA has charted for us, and that follows traditionally on the way in which we've gone at it, which has been project-driven, mission-driven, sending spacecraft here and there, some with people on board and some not, that we've got to think about space in a fundamentally and radically different way as we think about it as, like we think about the interstate system and the highway system, as an infrastructure which is being built out and that now needs to be supported and protected in order to both communicate around the world with the communication satellites and the thousands of satellites that now circle the globe here that form this enormous and very powerful infrastructure in which America is going to play a leading role in protecting and supporting and developing that. It's the kind of mind, in my opinion, which is why I wrote the piece, the kind of mind that an entrepreneurial businessman will be able to understand, but that former astronauts and aeronautical engineers and aerospace engineers may not really grasp the full implications of it.
And I believe I watched a presentation a few months back, and I think it's actually a year or so old, but it's the guy who runs Smarter Every Day, and he did a presentation up in Huntsville where he kind of took to task a lot of very important people working on some launch systems up there, saying the folks who built the Apollo program would be a little aghast at how complicated y'all have made this. And it's always a good idea for, and I imagine you agree, that it's sometimes a good thought experiment. What would our ancestors think of us? What do you think Von Braun and everybody there during the Apollo years would think of what we're doing with space right now?
Yeah, or Jim Webb, right, who was the second NASA administrator, looking at what's happened to that agency and what's taken place. I would say two things. I would think, first of all, as you were just saying, they would think, why is everything so complicated? Why have you built in all of these additional processes that are there to supposedly to safeguard systems, right, but which are actually, in fact, involved in creating more bureaucracy and creating more delays in accomplishing what's really essential. The second thing that they would notice, particularly about today's NASA, is why all this focus on DEI. You know, DEI is now fading away in the corporate world. They're beginning to realize that it's a dead end for them. And in fact, far from making the companies more effective or even more responsive to the public, that the stress on diversity, equity, and inclusion is actually hurting their bottom lines, is actually turning off customers. Federal government agencies, too, are beginning to take a second look at what the impact has been, the negative impact of DIA. Well, guess what agency has not done that, and that's NASA. They've, in fact, doubled down on their DIA capabilities of what takes place with all of that. And so part of this is, I think, and we've seen this with companies, we've seen this in our military, where DEI, the focus on these sort of progressive social goals, undermines and undercuts what the really essential mission is for an institution. Whether you're talking about a corporation like Boeing, people have talked about the problems that Boeing has had in that regard, but even with it, but particularly with an agency like NASA.
Again, folks, we're talking to Arthur Herman. You can find a lot of his work there at the Wall Street Journal, National Review, New York Post, and of course, I would say search on Amazon and just pick one of the books. Freedom's Forge is a great place to start, especially leading on more putting your historian hat on.
Sure.
It seems like there is a mentality out there these days that sort of technology takes care of itself. Like it comes in waves and it doesn't really matter who's doing it. It's sort of, when an idea's time has arrived, it's arrived, and it sort of embodies others. But doesn't it matter at the end of the day, with major breakthroughs in human history, that great men or great women, great men matter at the end of the day? The person that actually sets out and accomplishes something, it's not like these things make themselves manifest. It takes usually individual people making it happen.
Boy, that is really true. And I think an additional aspect of it, just to expand your point,
sure,
is I think the complacency about technology is particularly about American technology, and in particular American technology in space. We've been the leaders for so long. We're the ones who actually put men on the moon, after all, right? Almost 60 years ago, right? almost 60 years ago. We put men on the moon repeatedly in the process. And I think there's been an assumption that we'll always be the leaders of it. Well, guess what? The Chinese don't think so. They think they're positioned now to become the dominant space power. And you can bet that they're going to use that not just to carry out manned flights and colonization of the moon. They've already sent three lunar landings in the last decade, but also with the militarization of space. They're going to take a leadership role in that development here, and we're far behind in thinking about how important that's going to be. We have a Space Force today, as you know, that President Trump has created, but it's still, in many ways, a military force in search of a mission and in search of a role to be played in where America's national security future lies. So, yeah, and when we talk about sort of great leaders in an area like space, we're not just talking about Elon Musk. We're also talking about, I'll mention Jeff Bezos, too. You know, what he's done with Blue Origin, the way in which Blue Origin looks to build its sense of a mission that is from, and workforce from, really almost from cradle to adulthood, in developing a fascination with and a vision about what can happen in space. That's where the leadership is these days. And that's where the leadership for NASA, I think, can lead us. There's one other ingredient, though, we mustn't forget, Joey, and that is, as I mentioned in the Wall Street Journal article, all the great NASA administrators understood that NASA had an important role to play in terms of American strength and American national security. That NASA wasn't just a budget set up to carry out a lot of fascinating astronomical and scientific experiments. Although there's a lot of people, I think, at NASA who think of it themselves in that way. They all understood, from Jim Webb all the way through to Jim Bridenstine, the last one that President Trump appointed, understood that America's position in space required NASA to think about issues like national security, to think about how it can enhance American power and influence in the world. And I think for a figure like Elon Musk coming into NASA, he would find, I think, very interesting ways to integrate that into what has been NASA's, primary mission in the last few years, which is to expand our understanding of space and of the possibilities for space, both as a commercial sector, but also as future of prosperity, of economic prosperity. To be able to put those two things together, how space contributes to our economic and cultural future, but also how it can serve to protect our national security, working hand in glove with the U.S. Space Force. These are, I think, the kinds of ingredients and priorities we're going to have to follow through if we're going to continue to maintain U.S. dominance in space, but also prevent a power like China from displacing us and pushing us out of that position and taking control of the new global commons, the great global commons of space, and manipulating it for their own aggrandizement and power.
Well, and I know we just there was a report out, our lieutenant governor here in Alabama, Will Ainsworth, saying we need to get Space Force back to Alabama. It's the right home. And I think there are a lot of folks in this audience and around the state that would love to be part of that. And I really appreciate your point about Jeff Bezos. I would encourage folks, there's a YouTube channel called Everyday Astronaut. He's done like 2-hour walk and talks with Elon around the SpaceX factories and launch platforms. And then he just did one with Jeff Bezos and walking around Blue Origins. Yeah. And Bezos is in deep to it. You can tell he's got a true passion for it as well. And this, if it doesn't give you hope, I don't know if you got a heartbeat. It's really fascinating stuff these folks are doing.
And you know what? There's a lot of other great companies that are out there too. Commercial companies like Sierra Nevada, that's one I'll mention here, who are also Peraton, who are also very much on the cutting edge of innovation in the commercial space sector, and they're going to be, and their counterparts are going to be the dominant players in the future of space. And we need to have an administrator for NASA who grasps that and who can take advantage of it and to further it, so that we can develop space into to realize its full potential, which is this powerful infrastructure that supports all of our lives, it supports our economies, it keeps watch over our enemies, and protects our assets from those enemies when they try to disrupt or to destroy what it is that we're building and what it is that we're sustaining. And in my mind, I think a Musk appointment, let's say in a second Trump term, I guess we're not going to see it, are we, Joey, for in the Harris-Walz administration? But in a Trump second term, moving Musk over to NASA, I think would be a major positive step in that direction.
Well, and to quote the final sentence of your piece, how appropriate would it be if Mr. Musk, as the brains behind SpaceX and the new head of NASA, welcomed them, the astronauts stuck at the International Space Station, back to Earth? And let's hope, because there's a lot to this, but I think that's a great story. We need to get them back, and I appreciate.
Yeah, we do. We got to bring them home, and the sooner the better. And the fact that it now looks like SpaceX is the likely candidate to do it should tell you everything you should need to know about what company and what company's CEO really has a grasp on not just where the future of space, but also how to deliver that future efficiently and safely.
Well, I appreciate your time, and I really do appreciate your optimism. And so many things, you're right. Our best days ain't behind us. I
don't think so. I think our best days are still ahead. Doesn't always seem that way, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Well, thanks, sir. Let's talk again soon.
Okay. Thanks, Joey.
Again, folks, that is Arthur Herman. And you can just look up Arthur Herman, Hudson Institute, or I encourage you to check him out on Amazon. Just start with some of his books. He was a Pulitzer Prize finalist.
Really? I did not know that.
Yes, Gandhi and Churchill, the epic rivalry that destroyed an empire and forged our age. That was the Pulitzer finalist, which is very high honor there for a historian. Freedom's Forge is fantastic, how American business produced victory in World War II. And I could keep listing these. There are so many. How the Scots invented the modern world, the Cave in the Light, and To Rule the Waves. Wrote up a whole book about General MacArthur, too. So if you like history, especially American history, you can't go wrong with Arthur Herman. Y'all check him out today. So after that, I'm kind of hungry at this point in the day. Are you hungry?
Starving. I had 6 cups of coffee and a little pastry. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
How much, if I could just manifest it, would you love me if I could just have Smokehouse Pit Barbecue right here in front of you right now?
I would love you forever.
I
would probably build you a statue.
I can't pull that off. So.
Well, now you just upset me.
Yeah, I wish I could just manifest Smokehouse Pit Barbecue, but you actually have to go there. They're Main Street and Millbrook.
I'm down with that.
Whether you're looking for a great lunch or dinner or...
Best thing they got right now to me, Joey.
The breakfast.
Breakfast, man.
I went there on Saturday with my grandfather.
And you enjoyed it, did you not?
Oh, yeah. I got a double helping of the cheese grits. I was like, I ain't getting skinnier this weekend.
You're expecting me, so you went ahead and got me an order? Is that what it was?
Yeah, and I ate one in your honor. Yes. I poured one out, or I ate some grits from my homie over
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and the breakfast is a true destination, folks. It's just a quick trip down the interstate if you're not already in Millbrook.
Right.
Main Street there in Millbrook. And anything your kind of heart desires for breakfast, fresh made biscuits, breakfast sandwiches, the breakfast bowl is, I think, what my grandfather really likes.
And you put the Connect in there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you can even get a fried bologna biscuit if you want.
I like that idea.
Which ain't too shabby. And, of course, they have the original recipes back when it comes to their barbecue. And on Friday nights, they do entertainment.
I like
live entertainment, open bar. It's a great place to eat, but also a great place to enjoy some company and enjoy the start of the weekend. So y'all check them out today. Again, that's Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. You can always look them up on the Book of Faces. Just type in Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. Or just stop by there, Main Street in Millbrook, and be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Hey, folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They like Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time, because this month when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road, and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State health-related restrictions may apply.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Our weather pattern is starting to evolve as the niceness of the last few days starts to fade away. Today's high around 97, low tonight down to about 74. So mostly sunny today, still dry. I think we'll be in the upper 90s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Generally dry Wednesday with rain chances 20% or less, but then widely scattered storms. They'll be random on Thursday and Friday, but I think they'll be a little bit more numerous perhaps by about Saturday or Sunday. No doubt about it, we need the rain. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union, the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Again, appreciate Arthur Herman's time.
Oh, yeah.
Smart fella there, to put it mildly.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't stretch it too hard there, Joey. Don't sell him too hard.
We're going to try to continue to bring more guests. In particular, I mentioned we need to bring on guests to talk about the stakes of this election from different points of view. Now, I've gotten a few in mind. I would love to have Jeff Dice back on soon to talk about that. Thinking we're going to kind of lean into that libertarian world, but somebody like Tom Woods would be great to have on the program.
Be all right.
We've had on Jeffrey Tucker before, old friend of mine. He could be good, but one guy in particular that I would love to have on to talk about the stakes, especially from an economic point of view, and an innovation and, say, the monetary space point of view, is Peter St. Onge.
No doubt.
And it's because of, breakdowns like this that I really want to talk to Peter live. This is his take on RFK Jr. dropping out of the race.
Interesting.
And supporting Trump. So let's listen into Peter St. Onge.
Presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has effectively quit the race and endorsed Donald Trump, popping media heads across America. This is obviously great news for Trump's odds of winning come November, but it's even more significant for what it says about the Democrat Party, which has been the effective ruling party of America, the lord of the deep state, since roundabout FDR. Kennedy made his announcement last week, noting how back in his childhood, Democrats were the, quote, party of the Constitution, who championed civil rights, stood against authoritarianism and censorship, fought against imperialist wars, and against corporate power. He said that party is now transformed into the party of war, censorship, corruption, big pharma, big tech, big agriculture, and big money. A party that has abandoned democracy, referring to the undemocratic coronation of Kamala, as well as the lawfare to kick RFK off the ballot and throw Trump in jail. He noted that given all that censorship and weaponization of federal agencies, but with collusion from left-wing media, he has no path to victory, and staying in the race would risk handing victory to Democrats, quote, with whom I disagree on the most existential issues, censorship, war, and chronic disease. And so he is effectively dropping out and backing Donald Trump, adding that those original principles of the Democrat Party now lead him back to Donald Trump. Note that RFK is formally suspending his campaign, not ending it, but that's normally what people do when they tap out. In RFK's case, it also means he'll stay on the ballot in deep blue states and deep red states where he will not affect the outcome. So he's only dropping out in battleground states so that he can help Trump. Now, Kennedy had been polling consistently around 5%, which is a big deal given that 5 of the last 6 elections were decided by less than 5%. And beyond the tactical benefit for Trump is the wider moral point. So people like RFK or Jordan Peterson or even Elon Musk were passionate lifelong liberals before switching sides. Elon spelt it out last year, saying he didn't leave the Democrat Party, it left him. Left him on radical social issues, economic issues, and, of course, wars. As for the election itself, 5 of the last elections have been decided by under 5 points, so RFK could absolutely make the difference in a second Trump term. Indeed, Trump got a boost in the betting markets with RFK's endorsement, making a very tight race, even with the cheating, meaning it is all hands on board. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. In theory, democracy self-corrects when one party goes off the rails. It pulls back to the center to try and pick up some voters, something academics call the median voter theorem. But in fact, that doesn't seem to be happening with Dems. As RFK says, they've instead ignored the voters and doubled down on censorship and authoritarianism, extending all the way to trying to imprison the opposition. This has happened before, of course, even in democracies. In 1930s Germany, the ruling Social Democrats did not moderate. They, too, doubled down, extending to political executions by regime allies. We know how that ended, and it is not good. So we are in a dark place at the moment, and the most famous Kennedy effectively flipping parties is a mile marker for the history books. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Again, folks, that's Peter St. Onge. You always go to Peter, STONGE.com, or check out his Substack. And because he goes into, if you're interested, like a particular topic in these short segments we play, these short video segments, you can do a deep dive. He will often have on the site, like, here's the charts, here's the facts and figures, here's how I'm backing this up. He's a good dude. So I definitely want to reach out to him to have him on to discuss the stakes.
I think that's a grand idea.
Because I think the stakes are getting higher and higher by the day. As I was saying earlier, nothing's going to change the day after the election. But something's got to give. And I think, in particular, the reason I get worked up about this stuff so much is that the current system, the entrenched establishment in both parties, needs to be humbled. And Trump might just very well be the way to do it.
But
Because
I kind of think there are going to be some changes on day one. Whether it depending on who wins.
Yeah.
A lot of people's attitudes.
Well, and here's where Trump might be different than the first term. This is on the Sean Ryan podcast.
Oh, yeah, I saw this. This was really good.
And this is Trump essentially admitting, he made mistakes.
Yep.
So let's listen in.
I didn't really know anybody in Washington. I was a New York person. I wasn't like a Washington, D.C. person. And all of a sudden, I'm president, and I'm driving down Pennsylvania Avenue with more police and motorcycles and military than I've ever seen before in my life. I said to my wife, "Do you believe this? I'm president." But I didn't know anybody in Washington. And I had to rely on people to give me names. And many were really good. I mean, Bob Lighthizer, I had great trade people. I had some great people. But I also picked people that, in retrospect, I wouldn't have picked.
Yep.
But now I know the smart ones, the dumb ones, the weak ones, the solid ones, the ones like you. I know the people. I know everybody, sort of like everybody. And we're going to have a great government. I didn't know. I had to rely on people I'd ask, I don't want to use names because I don't want to embarrass. They're not bad people, but I'd ask people that were rhinos, who do you recommend for such and such a position? All important positions. And they'd recommend some people that were rhinos or something, or weak or not good. And I don't have to ask too much right now. I know the people, and I've known them through fighting and wars. I've known them through, because all this stuff. I had great support. Don't forget, I beat Nancy Pelosi. I beat all these people, every one of them. And somebody said, if you look at it, he beat the Clinton family, right? And that was really Obama too, because he was behind her 100% like he was running. And I beat the Bush family. I beat everybody. And now I beat Biden. I got him out. I beat him twice, actually. I beat him the first time, but now I beat him a second time because it was the debate that got him out. And now I have to beat somebody that nobody ever heard of, who's a Marxist. And I think I'll be able to do that. But I know the people now. I've been in government now for 8 years. I was in government for no years. I mean, I became president and I said, I've never done this before. It's pretty, sort of a miracle. In the history.
So there you go. Him saying, I was not ready to go with staffing. The same actual problem Reagan had in the first term.
Sure. Outsiders.
And I think this is what scares some establishment types the most, is that this time he's gotten wise to a lot of the games.
Yep.
And gotten wise to what positions that don't often get the headlines. They're not sexy positions, but they're incredibly important levers of power.
Yep.
He's gotten wise to that. And the word is they do have a lot of people ready to go to staff up that White House.
I think I read something again today about that. More people, like I said, coming over, like a Tulsi Gabbard.
Now, of course, this also depends on what happens in Congress. I think so goes the presidential race, so goes the down ballot races.
I agree, especially this go round.
So if Trump does a really great, enthusiastic campaign as we really get into this, again, folks, this doesn't really get going till after Labor Day.
Joe, we're going right now. We're going now, man. You're just going to have to get on the boat. We're going now.
Okay. Being a weird uncle.
I'm the cool uncle.
You're right.
Don't you forget about that.
It's a lot better than that cool mom energy that Kamala's trying to give off.
Yeah, I just don't pick up on that very well.
Gracious. But we'll see. We'll see as this goes into November. Now, do you think you're suffering from smartphone pinky?
No, I use this finger.
No, but smartphone pinky comes from resting the bottom.
Oh, doing that?
Yeah, holding it like this all the time.
I get that. Not my pinky, but again, my thumb. Because I'm trying to reach.
See how it's resting right there on.
You got a little callus there?
No, I have it's not as pronounced as I'm seeing in some of these photos.
Yeah.
But you can see how it's not perfectly straight.
Well, you got a little callus there too, right on that joint.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
sitting on there.
I'm like, well, why do my fingers hurt so much?
Never thought about it.
Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. No, but it's a real thing. TikTokers are panicked over viral phone pinky deformities.
I can fix all that.
And some of these are really pronounced.
It's easy fix. Set your phone down and watch it from the counter. You don't have to hold it the whole time.
Yeah, but I think folks are literally addicted to this stuff.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. No, and sometimes I like to write on my phone. I think that's where mine has developed a little bit.
Did you get Nintendo thumb when you was playing video games?
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
that?
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the old school NES controllers, the squares.
Now, if you pick one up now, does muscle memory kick in on your hand, do you think?
Been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, those old games are pretty simple in terms of the inputs. So, yeah, not that bad.
I would think so, just because you probably spent hours, not mocking it, but hours doing it.
It's been in a while since I've really played video games.
Like when you get on a bicycle. You hadn't rode a bike in 20 years. When you get on it, the first 10 seconds kind of shaky, but after that, you're like, oh.
I mean, for instance, the N64 controller is wonky by today's standard. Like, it is weird with the C buttons and, like, it'd take a second to get used to it. But, all that nostalgia stuff's coming back. Today, I normally look at, say, Twitter's trending, and often it's a lot of politics. People really, putting out the BS today. Today, most of trending was reacting to Nintendo's big trade show. But here's our new things coming out. One is called Pizza Tower. It's a platformer where you have to essentially get to the top of the tower to get the pizza.
Right.
It sounded like something you'd like.
I would like that. There used to be a video game what was it called? Pizza Store or something like that.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a throwback re-update of something like that.
I'm a sucker for that kind of thing.
So, all video games are cool. I think some people do it too much.
Oh, certainly, but that's anything.
But also you see so many folks have careers in that now. That's what they do. And it's like, damn. Parents
but Joey,
lied to me.
There are people that get paid to taste ice cream.
True. That's true.
So video games, I mean.
Yeah. But do you have the pinky thing, or you just set your phone down?
Honestly, my thing is my thumb. Because I try to do. I got that Android, so I try to reach over sometimes.
And now in other news from bestlifeonline.com.
Okay.
Yeah, first time visiting this site. But here's the headline. 100-year-olds share what they eat and never eat. So genetics count for a lot when it comes to longevity. But don't discount the power of healthy habits.
Got a feeling ain't a whole lot of steaks going through the 100-year-olds.
Elizabeth Francis is the oldest person in the U.S. at 115 years old.
Whoa!
She tried to do things to stay healthy. Her life was basically pretty simple. She didn't go out to parties and stuff like that. Boring. Square. She was more of a homebody. She would go to church.
There you go.
Francis never smoked, drank alcohol, and was walking her dogs into her 90s. Well, but there are a lot of folks who want to smoke and drink.
Well, there are a lot of those 90-year-olds that are smoking and drinking. They'll tell you they did it every day of their life.
Now, there's another woman named Lenora. She's 102. Says the Mediterranean diet is the secret to a long life.
A lot of that.
People ask me, what do I attribute my longevity to? In the first place, I say I owe it all to God. God's been good to me. And I say olive oil because I eat a Mediterranean diet, and I've always eaten a Mediterranean diet, being from an Italian background. And I have some neighbors that don't ever eat a vegetable, but I eat my green vegetables and I eat raw vegetables and salads.
I wonder how her family is. Or she might have a family of long living people.
Now, Shirley Hodes, who's 106, she avoids sugar and drinks skim milk. Just a simple, balanced diet without too much sweets. Again, this sounds really boring.
I got to be honest, Joey. I know this is great that these people live that long, but I would rather have my Corvette lifestyle and live a few less miles than the Oldsmobile lifestyle and just go on forever.
Now, I don't want you laughing at this next name. Shitsu Hakoshi.
No, it's not real.
107. Yes, it is a barber who wants to keep working until she's 109.
What else are you going to do?
She drinks homemade tea made out of dried Japanese ginger, day flowers, and thistle. When's the last time you had some thistle?
I got to say, it's been a while.
She enjoys 3 cups with every meal. That's a lot of tea. That's a lot of thistle. I'm making the thistle as fast as I can.
It's a lot of no thank you.
My job is my passion. Every day is a blessing. Bikram, who's 100, eats 5 fruits and 5 vegetables every day. Nerd. A lot of these folks are Japanese.
Well, now
Yoshiko, 110, eats noodles every day. Now I can get on board with noodles.
Yeah, but Japanese lifestyle, I think, is a lot healthier than what we do.
Dorothy Flowers, who's 108, drinks a glass of champagne every day. Now we're talking.
Yeah, all right, Dorothy.
Now we're talking all these other squares. Dorothy actually lives.
Why not? You're over 100 years old. Celebrate it every day.
Right. Jack, who's 100, eats dark chocolate and honey every day. Doesn't eat fast food and enjoys home-cooked food such as chicken and noodles. Edith loves her bourbon. She's 106.
Hell yeah, Edith.
I like that. See, these are the folks.
I think she's bourbon and Pall Malls.
Andy, who's 101, swears by a vodka martini a day, no cigarettes, and hard work.
There you go.
Man, so there is a theme here. I mean, the first few were kind of boring, but it even seems like the folks who drink, they don't go overboard.
How many women to men ratio there?
Mostly women. Yeah, mostly women. Like an 8.
You know why women outlive men? You've been around men. You see the stupid things we do.
That's true.
Duh.
Right.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
Better than being a chick.
It's true. So true, Joey.
I'm just saying. Isn't that like a prayer people start off with in the morning? Thank God I'm not a woman.
That's what a lot of people, yeah. Or that woman anyway.
Yeah, right. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And Dillon Rings, fantastic shop, all-purpose jewelry shop. You know, they're so good. The other jewelers in town go to Josh.
That's exactly
to
right.
repair
They go
things,
for
do
repairs.
custom work. When it comes to appraisals, you know, they're kind of the gold standard there at Dillon Rings.
And appraisals to me, Joey, super important. Because again, say I inherited some jewelry.
Yep.
I have no idea what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Or say I've had that jewelry a while. Well, values have changed.
Right.
I need to maybe perhaps change my insurance values. I need to know what these things are going to appraise for. So I get the true value.
And especially with inflation, how it's been, say, the
Oh,
last
yeah.
few years. If you hadn't had your jewelry appraised in, what, 5?
Look what gold's
10
doing.
years?
Just look what gold's doing.
You need to go get it checked out, and you never know. You might have something truly special.
Exactly.
And Josh and Leslie Ryder can help you in that regard. Of course, don't forget the custom design work. The man, Josh, is a true artist. They can really help you with bringing to life something maybe you just dreamed up.
Yep.
Could be it's wanting to remember somebody you lost, more poignant thing. Could be silly, like you want funky, fresh medallions. Or it could be just want something tasteful that's unique to you.
Yeah.
Josh can do all that. They do spa treatments, pearl strings. They do it all. And, of course, they have an amazing jewelry selection in that brand new renovated showroom. So you can get by there today. That's 119 Brown Springs Road, just off of Atlanta Highway, or always go to Dillon Rings on Facebook or Instagram, or just search for Dillon Rings online at dillonrings.com.
There you go.
But stopping by is the way to go.
Well, you
They're
meet some great people.
folks. Great folks. And, of course, be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Final segment coming up.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
The summer is winding down, but the sales at Larry Puckett Chevrolet are not. If you have a child headed off to college and they need a good, reliable vehicle that will not have you worrying if they can make it to school, shop Larry Puckett. They have a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles that won't wear out your checkbook. New and pre-owned, Larry Puckett's inventory is as big as anyone's in the area. College football season is upon us, and if you don't trust your car to get you to the games, shop Larry Puckett. If you have an extra vehicle that you want to sell,
deal. Take it to Larry Puckett and allow them to give you a cash offer. New vehicles are arriving daily. Call 285-9300. See if the one you're looking for is on the way. You'll love everything about Larry Puckett Chevrolet. The prices, the selection, the service, the financing, and you'll love your buying experience. For as long as I can remember, Larry Puckett's customers have been doing the talking. Larry Puckett Chevrolet on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville. Before you stop by, you can shop them online at larrypuckett.com.
Hey y'all, this is Steve Kirkpatrick for Big Block Designs. I haven't always been a drafter. I grew up in the radio TV broadcasting business in Pensacola, which is why I know the value of advertising on Blue Water Broadcasting. And you know the first thing you do when you get in the car is turn on the radio. Blue Water Broadcasting gets results. Big Block Designs has grown because we advertise with Blue Water. It works. Want to grow your business? You should too. Have a better day.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Hi, I'm Doug Singleton, Chairman of the Montgomery County Commission and a proud member of the Kiwanis Club of Montgomery. The Kiwanis Club of Montgomery raises hundreds of thousands of dollars through the fair to support charities that benefit children in the river region. We invite you to join us on Thursday, October the 3rd for a special event, Taste of the Fair. For just $30, you can enjoy delicious samples from our food vendors and experience the fantastic fair food that we'll be serving this year. This year, all proceeds from Taste of the Fair will go towards providing a new turf for the Miracle League of Montgomery Field. The Miracle League offers children with disabilities a chance to experience the joy of playing baseball regardless of their abilities. Join us on October the 3rd from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and get a sneak peek at the amazing fair food before the fair officially opens. Tickets are $30 and can be purchased at alnationalfair.org or at the fair office at Garrett Coliseum. Plus, with your ticket, you'll receive a $20 value ticket to return any day to the fair from October the 4th to October the 14th. Only a limited number of tickets will be sold, so get yours soon.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phone. Let's talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Yeah, I am doing great. How y'all doing?
How you doing? Like a hair and a biscuit.
Us too. I tell you what, if you are anywhere thinking about floors in the next 6 months, you really need to go in and make that phone call at 285-8117 because we have everything on sale from the Pet Premier, the best carpet in the store, a whole bunch of our LVPs, hardwoods, and all that stuff I bought the containers of. So we have everything on sale to fit every budget that you're looking for. But it starts with the phone call, 285-8117.
Again, that's 285-8117. They literally go the extra mile, folks. And yeah, you might be thinking carpet in terms of Prattville Carpet being the name, but they do it all in terms of resurfacing from traditional hardwood, that luxury vinyl plank, even ceramic tile, remodeling those kitchens and bathrooms. And when you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray here on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Hey, one more thing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We want to send out our condolences to the Stripling family. Albert Stripling, District 1, passed away today. I had the pleasure of working with him for 2 terms and really enjoyed it. Extremely smart man, very quiet, and just very wise. It's going to be a great loss to the community.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you, Ray.
Well, and have a good one, Ray.
Y'all too. Talk to you tomorrow.
See you,
Bye.
bro.
Let's go to Josh. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh, what's up, bud?
Hey, guys. Just heading back north. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Okay, good. Just heading back from my infusion treatment. Reflecting back on the elderly, the very elderly people, it kind of made me think, why would you want to live that long? Remember what happened with Tom Hanks? All he was left was Mr. Jingles and the Green Mile.
Yeah.
He had to watch all the other friends die.
Josh, that's kind of been my thought as long as I can remember it. I don't want to be the oldest one of my friends living. I don't want to watch everyone in my family and my friends pass away. No.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
Right.
But anyhow, guys, well,
So y'all have more the Billy Joel like philosophy? Only the good die young or something?
That seems to happen.
Allentown. Allentown? Really?
I love Allentown.
Start singing me Tell Her about it all of a sudden. I appreciate it, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Sorry for yelling in your ear while I'm yelling it out of ear.
You don't like Allentown?
It's all right.
Great song.
It's okay.
One of his greatest.
What, are you a Piano Man guy?
I love Piano Man. I love piano.
Yeah, when it hits right, it's a damn good song.
Occasionally, honestly, and you have those moments in life when that song or other can come up and just bring back the memories and kind of.
But it's you can't pick it yourself.
No, by no means. It has to just all natural.
Yeah.
All natural.
Because I do look back fondly being a teenager, discovering all the music that came before me. I was more into older stuff than stuff that was contemporary.
Like Flock of Seagulls?
No, definitely. Going through the 80s phase, or I think I'm turning Japanese.
That's such a great song.
I really think so.
Yeah. Everybody, Wang Chung tonight.
Or Electric Blue.
It's a great song, Joe.
That is a good song. Ice House.
Right.
Yeah, it's fun discovering the Piano Man. It's fun discovering 80s Joel, which really, Innocent Man, that whole album.
Oh, that's just
incredible.
Yeah, that's a great album.
But we'll see. Did we learn anything today?
It's been a long day, Joey.
It is.
I'm tired.
With
6 cups of coffee and I'm starving.
Romex Anglers posted this at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
He said, the live chat has gone cold since you went and got skinny again, Joey. Where are the white women at?
That is a good question.
Good question. Where are the women at in general?
Yeah, you don't like to have very many women on your show.
What are you talking about?
When's the last woman we had on besides Katie?
I was going to say Katie.
I know.
Why do you say
the
besides Katie Britt?
And?
We had Madeline on.
I love when
we had Ashley on the other day.
That was good. That was good, too.
Yeah, we had Beth Petty on at the beginning of the week to talk about the Hank 101 celebration.
All right, so it's been a couple of days, Joey. I like having women around. What's so wrong with that?
Because you're pulling your cool uncle vibe with them.
Appreciate the sausage face.
So, you graduate college yet?
No, that is not what we do.
You're doing the cool uncle.
What?
Oh, no, you do the more, honey, it's so good to see you.
Right, and then I ask them about their career plans and have they considered getting into real estate?
You know, I'm something of a big deal.
I don't know if you
Why don't you invite more women on the show? Have you seen our dynamic?
Yeah, but, well, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you keep thinking of stuff.
But
think of it and come back to me tomorrow. Maybe we'll figure it out then.
See what I can do.
We should kick off tomorrow with Jeff Poor. And
excellent.
Look forward to a Wednesday. But y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Beto. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy.